Yes, that's right, infidels. You found us here, channelattitude.com, Hameen Media Group, where you get the most real talk, the best reviews of all your favorite wrestling shows from AEW and WWE, Impact, and more, because we're going to break it all down with the best staff in professional wrestling at HMG. So you don't need to go anywhere else, because there's no 5 stars here. There's only $5 face slaps, infidel. Hello, Akbar! So sign up today, channelattitude.com, Hameen Media Group, and join the Hameen Army for the most real talk in professional wrestling. YOLO!
The PWC Network. What the world is watching and listening to.
Oh man, hello everyone and welcome to the PWC Monday Night Machismo. I am your host Jimmy T, and as you can all see, everyone's in the groove. But first, let me introduce you to my first co-host. He is your favorite podcaster. He is Mr. Ambs, and that's Ambs or Lambs with no L, like Lambs with no L. Chris Ambvs, welcome to the Machismo. What's crack-a-lackin'? And welcome back to the Monday Night Machismo, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Yeah, I was just kind of sitting around tonight, and I was thinking, I really want to watch more wrestling. I really just want to get more wrestling in my life. So I did. But before we get into anything else, I actually have something that I wanted to say to our listeners from Kenya, who have made the PWC the #1 wrestling podcast in the country of Kenya. I wanted to say, Karibu na asante, which means welcome and thank you. So, welcome everybody, and thanks for making us the #1 podcast in Kenya for wrestling. Love it.
#1, not just #1 in Kenya though, Chris. Believe it or not, top 5 in Russia.
In Russia, well,
yes,
Russia. To all of our Russian listeners as well.
Well, next, he is the most evil doctor of them all. He is the EST of the PWC. He is Dr. Jeff Lippman. Welcome back to the Monday Night Machismo. And it seems like you're not running the place, but then who is?
Probably Judgement, but listen, Nairobi and the PWC, perfect together. A little bit of infringement on New Jersey or Virginia or somebody, but too bad. Sue them, it's Africa. And in Russia, I am sure that the entire resistance is listening to us. So power people, and stop drinking the vodka, or at least drink Finlandia or Svetka.
Slava Rusia. I hope I don't get heat for that. Anyway, but next, he is the pundit of the people. He is also, you actually might know him from their Next Level podcast on HMG. He's also on the A Show with April Hunter. But more importantly, he's only my friend, but he's yours also. Big Ray Hernandez, welcome back to the Monday Night Machismo. It's been a while, actually, and I'm just pumped to have you here, man.
I'm hurt and I'm old and I'm fucking tired and I work with fucking children.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am the report of the people. No, I'm not the report of the people. I'm the pundit of the people, the man with the plan. Big Ray here to stay to talk some lucha libre, which is your Spanish lesson for wrestling today. I'm happy to come back, man, and hang out with you guys. I took a week off for work, and I was like, fuck, what should I do? More wrestling podcasts. And my wife doesn't understand why. See, because I don't have to do anything. I could just sit here and talk instead of edit and produce and like my hands, I don't know what to do with them. So I'm just going to be touching myself throughout the entire podcast. But I'm so fucking happy. Obviously, Chris is here. I'm happy Jeff is here. And I'm happy you got a cell phone there, Jimmy.
Yeah, right here, as a matter of fact, finally.
Vacation. What is the least valuable use of my time? Watching Raw and joining the Monday Night Machismo.
And it's a shame that you guys almost think that. But I will say this. You got to admit, that first 40 minutes, first hour of Raw was actually quite good. I mean, I thought it was the first hour, in my opinion. After that, it was a bit of a nosedive, especially when you were saying something about Raw off the air. In Messenger, Chris, I felt exactly how you were feeling at that point, and pretty much up until the main event, it slowed down. But Chris, what did you overall think of the show? I mean, were you excited to be watching Raw again, or were you thinking, God damn it, what did I get myself into?
No, basically, I saw in our group chat that Ray was coming, and I was like, oh shit, I'll join so I can see Ray, hang out with Ray for a bit. Oh man, and honestly, like as soon as I saw fucking Cody Rhodes' face, I was like, fuck this night. I hate this shit already. Man. He gave a pretty good fired up promo though, and I mean he only talked for 15 minutes or so, or at least that's how it felt to me. And yeah, the rest of the show, I mean, the rest of the first hour and a half, I wanna make clear, was pretty good. If this was a 2-hour show, like, this could have been a really good wrestling show, but fuck me, man. That last hour and a half, ugh.
Yeah, and I feel you, man. It's always a drag watching Raw. That's why usually, even though I've been watching it live a lot lately, I do prefer watching it, like later on so I don't have to see all the commercials and whatnot. But Jeff, what the hell, man? Is it, before we get into Raw anyway, and before I ask you about it, is there any news that we need to talk about? Because I haven't heard too much, except for Effie, if you know who I'm talking about, the indie wrestler, bitching and whining about Rick Steiner.
No, why don't you start us off with that? I mean, there's some news that's minor. I don't even know all the answers to it because some of it I just don't care about. But yeah, tell me what's going on with Effie and Rick Steiner. I saw that Effie was going on a little bit of a blocking spree and arguing with people. I know that both Steiners were booked at another wrestling convention, and we all know what they said. Rick Steiner said at a prior wrestling match. It seems like it's been verified that it actually happened, but I don't know.
He called a man. It was shocking, awful stuff. Just can't believe that he would do something so horrible as to call a male a man. It's the kind of thing that you just wouldn't have seen up until 2023, These racists just feel much more emboldened to just do whatever they want. I mean, sexist, I mean, homophobes. I mean, I don't even know what the hell to even call it at this point when you call a man a man. There's some kind of phobia or something that's applied to it.
Well, there is actually a poll that most millennials, and I don't know if this is limited to the United States or just generally, or, the first world, if you're even allowed to say that, but the most millennials consider misgendering should be a crime. Now, what I don't know is if those people feel that misgendering is like, Giselle Shaw identifies as a woman, calling Giselle Shaw a man, or if Giselle Shaw calling
a gazelle
themselves a woman is the misgendering. I don't know, which way, because depending on how you feel about that, you'd answer the question the same way, though the answer actually should be no, period. That should not be a crime at all. So the answer should be no matter what it is, no matter what your feelings on the subject. Listen, I hear what Chris is saying, but we know Giselle Shaw is in the wrestling world, considers themselves to be a woman. We can discuss that all day long, and it's, I mean, to me, it's like a 0.0001% of the population issue, and I don't care to make a big deal of it on any way, shape, or form. But I don't, booking the Steiner brothers at a wrestling convention, controversial. It wouldn't have been until I guess a couple months ago, but even now. So what happened? What happened, Jimmy T? Tell us the story. Scoop.
As you obviously know, basically Rick Steiner got booked once again for WrestleCon in his home state of. Is he actually from Michigan originally?
Yes,
I think he is. Yeah. So anyway, and basically Effie's having a hissy fit because he's a homophobe. You know what I mean? And basically
they shouldn't have booked hissy fit, or is he having a Hersey fit? I don't know.
Well, you can't say hissy, can you?
I mean, don't know because it's his.
Well, this guy is calling Rick Steiner, a homophobe, while you've got this idiot wrestling matches with dildos in front of kids. I mean, how can this guy talk, man? I don't care what he thinks or what he says. He's not that much better. And at the end of the day, Giselle Shaw, Giselle, whatever you want to call it, him or her, whatever the fuck, right? Yeah, I said it.
A gazelle is an animal. Could be a name, but it's not. Gazelle. Wow. Let's not confuse things further. It's already confusing enough.
Well, exactly. Anyway, the point is, she didn't even accept his apology in the first place when he actually called everyone into like a room to talk to everybody. She didn't want nothing to do with it. And now...
Well, no, because the most anyone's ever talked about Giselle Shaw in her life is when she reported this online and went for the victim points of Rick Steiner said something mean to me. Like that's the only time anyone's ever heard of Giselle Shaw. I remember I did an Impact Attack a few months ago now, and Giselle Shaw was on there, and I had no idea who this person was. None whatsoever. Zero. I had never seen this person wrestle before, and I saw Giselle Shaw wrestle, and I said to Vet when I was on, I was like, so I'm just asking, I'm not trying to be insulting here. Was Giselle Shaw born a woman? And he was like, no. And I was like, okay, no, I just it's a, you see it and it looks a little different, it's like, okay, that's not one of these things is not like the other, kind of a situation. So I mean, that's why Giselle Shaw didn't want anything to do with Rick Steiner's apology. It's because Giselle Shaw knew that the most attention that Giselle Shaw was ever going to get ever in the history of professional wrestling was saying, Rick Steiner said mean words to me, and the victim points that they could get on Twitter.
Wow, that's
my
true.
Giselle Shaw story is even less interesting. And so I have heard of Giselle Shaw, but I didn't know who or what Giselle Shaw was gender-wise. Or wrestling. I knew that it was a female wrestler in Impact, and to this day, I've still not seen Giselle Shaw wrestle because I don't care. As far as not accepting an apology or if the apology was sincere, no one's ever going to agree on that either. If he went through the motions, well, he's supposed to go through the motions. That's sort of what it's about. She didn't accept, I guess, because she wants the story to continue, or she doesn't feel it's sincere, and that's something again that's between them, and everyone can make up their own mind. But it's strange to me that Rick Steiner, at a wrestling convention is an odd thing with, which is full of, men that are 50, 60, 70 years old and may not be, up to date. And, you kids today that you're 25, when you're 50, your 25-year-olds will be looking at you about that you're doing something unacceptable, and you'll think that you're the progressive one, and you'll find out that the world has changed on you also, because that's what happens, and you'll be slow to adapt or you'll decline to adapt, and not every change sticks around. So sometimes you just have to wait and see. Anyway, I know this is a touch point on a lot of issues. It's just permission not to really care about it.
Well, here's the thing. Also, I'm going to jump in real quick with the whole Steiner situation. I don't know. Like nowadays, it seems that you can easily offend everybody, but it's really hard to have them accept an apology, right? I mean, from what I understand, listen, man, this guy was raised in a different time and place. during the business was a different time and place. Not giving him an excuse if he said it. Now here's the thing. I'm still waiting. Jesus, what the fuck is going on?
Is it
there?
really
Jimmy,
a different
there's
time
4
and place?
people on. It's a 3-hour show. You need to stop. You need to stop.
What is
Just
that?
Keep your. Don't ask.
Oops.
Keep your hands where we
anyway.
can see them. Stop playing with your toys.
So anyway, so with that being said, like with this situation, I can't say that it happened. I know that there was a lot of word of mouth, but you know, in a world where, and I've said this before, I think on Next Level, in a world where everybody is carrying a cell phone, everybody has a recording device. I have yet to see one video. I have yet to hear. I have yet to see anything, any physical proof. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I'm just saying it's weird how this was such a big deal. You know, I'm sure somebody would have recorded it, and you know, I don't know, man.
Apparently, you weren't allowed to bring cell phones in there. I have no idea how they.
That's weird.
What?
Yeah, it's true.
At a wrestling convention?
Yeah.
Don't ask me. That's what they said.
I guess that makes sense when, you know, I guess if you take a picture of freaking what's his name that would $1 million Matt meat sauce, what's his fucking jobber's name?
Virgil.
If you take a picture, he'll chase you down and ask you for $20. But yeah, I mean, Giselle Shaw, same thing. All I knew about Giselle Shaw was that she was dating, or she's together with Scott D'Amore. I don't even know if they're dating anymore together. Yeah, they've been together for some time. Why do you think she got the push? You know what I mean, Chief?
Literally, or like...
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't actually. That's news to me.
D'Amore is blind.
D'Amore.
Jimmy broke up. I think after the 10th time, he was like, how come I have to keep giving you anal? Well, I got to tell you something, Scott.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know. She posted that. You know what? Let's whatever.
Well, anyway, I just want to say, excuse me, Jesus, should have muted myself. But what up, Liz? Liz in the house.
Hey, Liz.
She's saying, hey, guys.
Yo.
And hey, Todd.
Yo, Elizabeth sent me 3 giant plastic bins of cookies she made because she lost a bet.
The comment king.
The comment king's in the house. Really? She lost a bet?
Yeah, we have a whole Cleveland, New York thing going on. Long story short, dude, I thought she was gonna send a couple of cookies. They're like, I don't know if you can see my hands, but they're like the plastics are like about 10 inches long, about 6 to 7 inches deep, full of homemade cookies.
Uh-oh. Well, that's wonderful. Media M5, that scenario you put there seemed really, really specific, like disturbingly specific.
What do you say?
Wait, what did he say? Which one?
The Raw sucked, like a $5 whore at a 70, asking for a $70 refund. Like that sounds like a scenario that actually played out in his life.
I'm gonna drink more. Oh, before we move on real quick, Jimmy, you didn't ask me what I thought about Raw off the cuff.
I was going to, but
don't ask me either. He's like that.
I did ask you actually.
You want to go? Just don't yell at him, Jeff. Leave him alone. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'll
leave me
yell
alone,
at him
Jeff.
if I want
bully. Oh, jeez, look at this guy.
Jeff, you go
well,
first.
Anyway.
No, guess first.
All right, I'll make it short and sweet, dude. I haven't seen.
Dude, just say what you.
No, I haven't seen.
Man.
Listen, I haven't seen a full episode of Monday Night Raw, and like legit, I think about 3 years, like a full 3-hour episode. Haven't seen it in 3 years. Mostly maybe half or just the main event or just clips and stuff like that. And I tweeted out. I think Chris, you replied to one of the tweets I tweeted out that it's an hour and 30 minutes into this, and I've only seen 2 fucking wrestling matches on a wrestling show. And I preface by saying I'm all about building, you know, stars and the storylines and all this other stuff that are very important. But I'm watching an hour and a half of a wrestling show, and it's legit. I only saw fucking 2 matches, just 2 matches. They were decent matches. I was like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, how the hell do you just go about doing how many matches did we get in a whole night? 5, maybe
6
in 3 hours.
That's the Vince formula. You get an average of 2 matches an hour. And when Triple H was in charge, you would get 8, maybe 9, but the 9th somewhere in it usually got short-circuited somewhere.
Well, the ladies only went like 2 minutes. Was it Baszler and the other fucking psychopath?
Nikki
that
Cross.
chick. So I don't know, dude.
Dude,
And then-
like on the last AEW pay-per-view, the fucking pre-show had 7 matches.
At least listen, if you're a fan of wrestling, if you're a fan of actual wrestling, I get why some of you guys like AEW, but my God.
Man, that's
dude.
I mean, hence the name, right? Welcome to Monday Night Replay, because this shit is, it's just like, Ray, I'm with you, right? I love wrestling character, and if the rest of this show, if it was 6 matches, but the rest of the show was dedicated to vignettes and video packages, and they're building, and they're, you know, what's going on with this guy, and who's coming next, and how much longer until Veer finally comes, you know, like that would be fine, right? That would be fucking fine, but it's not. It's like an hour of this 3-hour show is a recap. And it's not just a recap of like, oh, this is what's happened this month in WWE. It's literally, we'll watch Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar have a segment, go to commercial, come back, and it's a 4-minute recap.
Yep.
I just fucking watched it. What are you showing me? What the fuck, man? Like, if I was watching Game of Thrones and they had a scene where fucking Daenerys and Jon Snow fucked or whatever, right? And
Well,
and then fades to black and then comes back up and they show me a replay of 4 fucking minutes of Jon Snow and Daenerys fucking again, I'd be like, okay, Daenerys has got some good tits, but like, I don't want to fucking see a replay. I just watched this shit.
Well, you gotta watch it again, damn it.
Bro, and how many times did I see a replay of fucking NXT tonight? I don't give a fuck about NXT, but one replay would suffice. I don't need to see it 3 fucking times.
And the bloodline stuff too. I mean, thank you for Chris for handling my rant for me. Because if they had this show and just had 3 more matches and less of all the other stuff, it would have been fine. I mean, 3 hours is tough to sit through. Period. Almost without exception. I mean, I've been to a few movies where I didn't mind, but it's like I could probably count it on 1 or 2 hands tops. But yeah, it's rough. That said, in the context of Raws, compared to other Raws, this Raw was on the better end.
This was good compared to other Raws. I'm not joking. I'm asking sincerely.
It actually was.
Yes.
I think.
Wow. I mean, so real quick. So with that being said, and I'm not even joking, I appreciate, no kidding, watching NXT every week. Because it can be silly and wonky and whack and ridiculous at times, but I get fucking really good matches. I get some shitty promos. I get some silly vignettes, but the show goes by like that. So fuck that, dude. I don't know if I'm ever gonna watch Raw again unless I'm doing the show with you guys. This shit sucks.
And you're watching like wrestlers go to college and graduate school and train and learn. I mean, it's so when you watch it like that, it's a different experience. But I mean, listen, I don't mind so much the cross selling with the NXT because they're really trying to push that to get people to watch NXT. But when there's everything else, it gets to be too much. Plus, they have to sell you on the city they're in. Then they have to sell you on the sports teams in the city they're in. Then they have to remind you 3 times that SmackDown is on FS1 because of the World Cup and that the U.S. is playing Vietnam. And then they have to show you about the other soccer games which are going to be on Peacock and something with Messi and whatever, and that Formula One is going to be on here. And
that's going to be pretty cool.
And there's just too much like insert commercials to go with the regular outside world commercials that you're talking about an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and 20 minutes of recaps and in-show commercials. Then you have your regular probably 35 or 40 minutes of regular commercials. So it's in essence a 1 hour and 15 minute show. And, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but if you take out the prolonged entrances, and the fact that, listen, huge ups for only having one Seth Rollins segment, but having Judgment Day be introduced 3 times and having to go through their long, slow introduction 3 times, that's enough. We get it once. That's enough.
That's standard, though, Jeff. Every week they do this with Judgment Day, though.
They do it with everybody.
Or they do it with Cody. Yeah, dude, last week when I came on here to review with you guys, when I think Vet was on, right? You, me, and Vet did last week.
That was the week before. The week before that,
Jimmy. They did fucking Cody's full goddamn entrance, like full goddamn entrance, right down
that's
to
the experience, Chris.
There's more than one wrestling royal family.
Yo, do you guys remember back in like 95 or 96? They did the same shit with the NWO all the fucking
Oh yeah, but I
time.
loved that shit at the time, man. I was NWO for life.
I'm just saying,
I couldn't get enough of it. You know what I mean?
because
You were also 21.
right, and
I was a
but
lot
this-
younger than that. I was
This-
probably
Right, so
18,
you're
17.
15 or whatever. You didn't care.
This
And
act,
when
right-
Judgment Day sells the amount of T-shirts that the NWO did, I'll be okay with them doing the.
The
fucking
NWO is
entrance
still one of the
every time.
highest
If they
sellers in
sell the
merch right
amount
now.
of T-shirts that the NWL sells now.
They're in the top 5 right now as merch sellers for
I know,
WWE. But anyway,
them and Austin are still 1 and 2. They have been for like, I don't know, what's it now, 3,000 or 4,000, like since the Babylonians.
yeah, probably. Yeah,
you guys have to
continue on, Ray,
always
though.
real quick. No, I was just gonna say that you guys also have to realize that this is the only faction because WWE is really high on factions. So this is the only faction that's any good, and I actually do like them. Don't get me
So do
wrong, I
I.
like them. I agree with you 100%. The whole fucking long entrance and shit. It's reminiscent of the NWO back in the day, but that was cool and that was
That was
original.
cool,
that was
exactly.
different. So
Right.
It was peppy music. This is like long, drony, like dull music. You just don't. I
Yeah,
just don't
see,
need
that-
it sometimes. That's all
That
I'm saying.
NWO theme is still, in my opinion, one of my favorite tunes of all time. Even though it's pretty, like outdated in many
It's a
ways.
Jimi Hendrix song, like. It's
No,
pretty
well,
much-
I'm not talking about.
The-
No,
the
it's a
porno
porno
music,
song. It's a
porno
porno,
music.
yeah. I'm not
Hey,
talking
yo,
about
who's
Hogan's.
playing the porno music? Remember Razor
Yeah,
Ramon?
damn,
yo.
damn. There is a porn out there with that tune on there.
Good
That's
for
a
them.
fact.
They
Yeah,
better
good
be.
for them, absolutely. Yeah, there is. It really
Jimmy
is.
knows all the porn. He's Greek.
Wow. Because I'm Greek, I know all the porn.
They have the real giant there.
Well, gay porn. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. We invented porn.
NWO
invented
black
everything.
and white.
Porn. Yeah.
NWO black and white takes a whole different connotation when you watch that porn.
It's NWO white.
Yeah, the black and white.
You
guy.
know what I'm saying? I get you. It's like
They
being
had
black.
every combination.
Doing the old Colin.
It's like a Crayola box.
A Crayola box. Well, what does that mean, Jeff?
Tons
Lots
of
of
colors.
color combinations.
I know that. No shit.
So why'd you ask?
Yeah.
Because I just wanted you to say it. Anyway, let's get away from pushing and stuff.
You guys
How
heard
about
about
we-
Bailey?
Oh, yes, her knee. I forgot to mention that. You're right.
I
You're
think
right.
she's okay though. I think she
Is
was able
she?
to walk out on her own power.
Yeah. There's video of her walking out of the arena. I mean, walking with somebody, but she's slowly limping, and she put a gimmick on Twitter or something like that with her knee wrap saying she's fine. But that would have been, Bailey's for me one of the most entertaining parts of WWE TV. I think
For
she's
sure.
I don't know if she's underrated, but I think she's underutilized, and I like her a lot. And she has a fantastic ass. So
That's true. We'll give
she's
her
very
that.
cute. I like her. She's a little weird looking, but who isn't?
You know what cute means, right? Ray?
What?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
What do you
sort
mean
of
cute?
like, no,
Like
like they're kind of ugly but interesting, if you know what I mean.
I like women that are a little different looking. If that makes any sense.
A
You
little
know?
different, huh?
Yeah. No, not that. Not Giselle Bundchen. What was her name? What's her name?
You read my
Giselle?
mind. You read my mind. I swear to God, bro. I was gonna
Quasimodo?
say it.
No. Even though the hump is hot.
Nyla Rose
Oh, shit.
different. Or?
Hey,
Mm.
that
Nia
motherfucker's a
Jax
fraud.
different. She's not like other girls.
Nia Jackson ain't too half
true.
bad right now, brother. Let me tell you something, brother.
Yeah, she's lost a bunch of weight. I saw a picture of her. the
She's
other
getting
day.
prettier.
Lose all the weight. No, not interesting.
I don't know, bro. There's something about her looking like The Rock gets me going. What?
The
I'm
co-
kidding.
The Comic King says,
Todd.
"What's the name of that porn, Jimmy?" Asking for research purposes.
Of course.
I have no idea, but I'm sure if you just Google NWO song and porn, maybe you'll find it. I'm
You'll
just saying.
find something for sure.
You will indeed. Anyway, Nyla though, I just want to say this. I don't know if you know this, Ray. I know I say it to the other two guys all the time, but yeah, man, that guy. I'm going to call him a guy because he's all over Twitter saying, "I'd smash that. I'd smash that." And I'm not talking about guys. I'm talking about chicks.
Oh no, yeah, I know that.
Yeah, he's not fully gay.
It's all a work, dude.
Totally, man.
I think. Listen, this is my humble opinion. Not really sure. It's a male wrestler that couldn't get over as a male wrestler and said, "Hey, was smart enough Much like
It is
somebody,
smart.
much
I'll
like
say it.
much like some gentleman who had a light beer, you know what I'm saying, and tanked that company, but he was smart enough to say, "Hey, who ain't doing this shit?" And he did it. He ran with it. So I'm not gonna hate on Nyla Rose, man. Good for you, dude.
He went
Good
Adrian
for
Adonis
you,
and
dude.
leveled up.
Yeah, but at least Adrian Adonis wasn't,
No,
You know
Adrian
what I'm
Adonis was a man's man, bro.
Well, apparently
Hey,
neither
he was
is
a-
Nyla Rose. I actually met Nyla Rose's at the time wife. I don't think they're together anymore.
Oh, he was married?
Well, I think they were like common law married, and it was a short woman
Wow.
with green hair. I met her at StarCast. I mean, I didn't.
Wow.
She was. Yeah, she was not. I was at a booth. I was working Shaheen's table. That's how I got into StarCast. So,
Cool.
and so people come and they talk, and then Spencer, that there's my wife, and I'm like, first I'm confused, but then I realize it's 2019 and I don't need to be that confused.
There's my wife.
Right? Yeah,
I'm looking at my tits.
no, it wasn't. Believe me, it wasn't Shotzi. It was a different. Nobody would confuse the two. I mean, she wasn't bad looking, but she was regular looking.
Would you
Just
throw it
great.
in, Jeff?
What?
Would you?
Would you throw it in?
No, because like Adam Cole, I care very much for. No, I'm a one woman man, as you know. But she. I mean, listen, she was a regular looking woman except for green hair. That's all I'll say. I mean, she wasn't hot. She wasn't unhot. She was. If she didn't have green hair, she would be completely unremarkable.
That's hot.
Okay. That's hot indeed.
Yeah.
Chris, is Nyla Rose smart? Or
I don't know.
I mean,
He's not a good wrestler. Nyla Rose injures somebody every other match. I just whatever the purpose is, if Nyla Rose is smart, great, but I mean, awful wrestler, just awful.
Yeah, not a good
Absolutely
wrestler.
awful.
I mean, not good as a man's wrestler, not as good as a woman's wrestler. And didn't really manage to get herself over for a small amount of time until people realized that she was no good.
well, I've always said this, and they should do this, and at times they've teased it. They should embrace that he's a man, literally, where he's just running through the whole women's division in AEW, and I mean annihilating him.
They will absolutely never do that.
They
You
should,
don't
though.
think
That's
so?
money.
No,
It's not
even
money.
even if I actually think that you could make money with a storyline like that. But even if Nyla Rose agreed to that, even if that was something that they were interested in doing as a storyline, there is no way that Tony Khan's company would run something so completely unwoke as that. That would never
true.
ever work.
Such a
Never in
hypocrite,
Tony
this
Khan's
guy.
company.
The one thing.
Ray-
Okay,
continue.
I was gonna say that if Nyla Rose was to do the whole "he's a man" gimmick, it's got to be.
Oh
this.
my god. That's my trademark song, Ray. I used to do this all the time.
Better when Ray does
Such
it.
a man. I made a remix of the song, actually, funny enough. Yeah, it's a hip hop one, but I don't have it here anymore. But
This is
it's
one of the
pretty good.
most underrated fucking theme songs in the history.
Absolutely.
So what were you gonna ask me, Jimmy? I'm sorry, dude. I had to slip that in there. That's what you said. Or he
Fuck,
said.
what was I gonna ask? I fucking forgot now.
We were talking about Nyla Rose. We were
You were
talking
talking
about.
about Nyla Rose.
I know that. I was gonna get away from it for a moment, but it doesn't matter now. Forget it. Oh
sorry.
Let's
yeah,
get the hell
yeah.
away
Sorry.
from
So
it.
no, I
Talk
do
Raw.
remember. Before we
remember.
get into Raw proper, though, did you check out TK and his cowboy gimmick on Collision this past Saturday?
What's that? What's Collision? What's that?
You don't know what Collision is? Oh, you mean Wreckage, where we nah.
Oh, Wreckage.
You know,
I
where
know
we
that
sift
show.
through the
I know
we
your
sift
show.
through the Collision. You know what I mean? I mean, after the Collision, we sift through the Wreckage.
I haven't
As
watched.
we
I
all
haven't
say.
watched. I only watched the first 2 episodes of Collision. I just haven't had really the time.
Oh,
but
man.
I'll say this: the 2 episodes that I did watch, I quite enjoyed them. I was like, oh shit, I like the pace. I like the way that the show is structured. I like the wrestling matches, the psychology of most of the show, if not all of the show. It was a better wrestling show, in my opinion, than anything that I've seen.
Yes.
It is.
AEW,
It actually is.
right? Am I
It's
off
the-
here?
It's the best
No, you're
wrestling
wrong.
You
show
are
right now.
100% right.
Crazy, right?
And this
It's like
last
so good.
week, this last week, like this last Saturday, Ray, actually might have been the best episode straight.
I mean, I'll go
through.
back and watch
Like,
it then.
all the way
Fuck it.
through. It was really good.
I'll watch it. Who was the main event, if you don't mind?
Wow.
It was
against
Punk and Starks. Yeah.
But
Men's finals of the Owen.
the very first match is the true main event, though. Put it that way,
Yeah.
and you will
Was
love it.
FTR versus Bullet Club Gold, and I got to tell you, Ray, everything was good. The announcing was really good. The referee was
Surprising.
even telling the heels, "Hey,
Oh,
don't
what's
do
going
that.
on?
Get out of the ring, etc."
Really?
It was like
It's
the
a miracle.
minute details that make wrestling fans happy, like real wrestling fans. It was fucking awesome. It was
That's
a really
cool.
good show.
That's
Really good show,
That's
Ray.
good to hear. All right.
Yeah, you should check it out. This episode, it's actually quite good.
And Tony Khan was in a very special
Oh.
prep school boy dressing for the Annie Oakley dance as a cowboy, and his mother made him wear.
That's not an understatement either, because Jeff originally saw it before I did, and the way he explained it right there, right, is exactly when I saw him, is exactly how he describes it. I kid you not. You have to
really
see
cute.
how ridiculous he looks.
I'll look it up now while you guys are talking.
Yeah, I was gonna probably put a picture up, but just look it up now while we're talking anyway.
Just
so
put
you
it
can
over,
check it out. I mean, shit. What does that comment say, Chris? Because I can't see it for some
Match
reason.
of the year, and I'm not even kidding. From Todd Brantley. Yep.
Really, match of the year.
Honestly, like, tell me what it competes with it. Honestly, like, tell me the match that competes with it, and we can have a discussion. But at this point,
right now,
that is my match of the year.
I have to remember what matches occurred this year. Like, I mean,
And don't say Omega Okada or Omega and
I'll-
what's
well, you know,
I'll
I'm not
spray.
going
I
to.
wasn't gonna say that.
But I mean,
say that.
if this year was MJF Bryan Danielson in the Iron Man match, if that was in 2023, that would be in consideration in my mind. I really like Charlotte and Rhea. There were probably some other matches. I mean, I don't have that encyclopedic brain that I can think of every match that was on, but I mean, it's absolutely in consideration. I mean, it's top 5 regardless of what I'm forgetting.
Is that David Benoit?
Yeah, David Benoit was there.
Yeah.
Oh wow. You know he'll never get a job, right, guys? You know why?
Oh,
right?
never. Absolutely not.
I mean,
It's a
But
shame.
he's not even training. So
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that even if he
He
wanted
was.
to be a wrestler, he looks way too much like his dad. Like that's his father's face. And I think that
Yeah.
might does that make sense? That might have
No,
held him
for
back
sure.
even a little more.
No, it is holding him back, and it will hold him back, unfortunately, man, because no one's going to want
Shame.
to take a risk, especially considering he literally looks like a mini-me version of Chris. He's actually probably taller than Chris Benoit, but you know what I mean. Yeah, no, and he's even got the crazy eyes, Ray. He's got those crazy Benoit eyes,
I've seen him.
which is
he does have
not
crazy eyes,
freaking
He-
good.
They're in a little bit buggly, like more googly eyed.
Yeah.
Like Juice
absolutely.
Robinson, crazy. eyes?
Nah, because really those eyes aren't crazy. You can see like he's not really like that, if that makes any sense. This guy, he looks like he could just snap, I reckon, one day. Like,
Yeah,
I
Juice
don't know.
Robinson really plays the Manson eyes well, though. He does
Right.
that.
Like this?
Absolutely.
Oh, you can't show it anyway.
Yeah, you can. It's there. I can see it. Wait.
Yeah, you can see it. They can't pull up. Doesn't matter. I'm not.
Hold
used to
on.
doing this.
I'm pulling it
Oh,
up.
yeah.
I'm pulling it.
He looks good. He has kind eyes.
I don't think he really looks that much like his father, to be honest with you. I mean, if
He
you didn't know,
He does.
they were
He
related.
looks like a dopey version of his father, really.
I mean, I see the resemblance, but I don't think he looked. I mean, first of all, look, is that a recent picture? Look at that build.
Yeah.
He's 30 years old. It's too late. It's over.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. He needs to hit the juice, man. Needs to
There's
hit the
not
juice.
enough time for the juice to do that. Even it took 9 years for Brian Cage. I mean, come on.
That's true, actually. Did you see how small he used to be? But anyway, fuck Brian Cage.
Yeah, back when he was hanging out with Canyon and the Bucks.
Well,
Nothing
Canyon
weird about that at all.
trained him. Yeah, Canyon
I
actually
know.
trained. Yeah,
I
so
know. His best friends were teenage boys. I got it.
I wonder what they were doing, right? I mean, anyway, Facebook user says Zoe Stark meth eyes.
Oh, come on, no, it's the whole head is meth.
Yeah,
not
let's be
just
honest.
eyes.
I mean,
Don't
and
sell
Todd
it short
Bradley
like
says
that.
2 words: climate change.
Right. Exactly
Anyway.
right. Those are 2 words. Thank you, Todd.
Oh god, and I got to show Medium Fives before we get into Raw. He says kid's got the overgrowing forehead. Soon his head will be as big as Edge's.
Well, he does sort of have Edge's eyes.
who's he talking
No,
about?
the Canadians, bro. The Canadians. Whoops, sorry, Chris.
You know whose forehead it looks like? Kevin Sullivan's. Dun, dun, dun.
No. That's a twist. That's a twist. That's a swerve right there, bro.
Put on the
Anyway.
Law and Order.
Yeah, I should. Excuse me. Well, anyway, let's get into Monday Night Raw, shall we, fellas? Because we're coming from the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlantis on the water.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Everything's Greek to me, damn it.
It's okay.
Actually, as a matter of fact, Atlanta is named after Atlantis, to be honest, but whatever.
Why?
Yeah. I don't know. You tell me. That's a good question.
A lot of black people in Atlanta. From what I know,
Do they drink Atlanta?
Like my friend A-Track Brown, he can't swim. So why would they be in Atlantis? I don't understand what you're saying. None of this is making sense.
The name came before there were a lot of black people there.
Oh.
Just point of historical.
Oh yeah,
Like Puerto Rican Eskimos doesn't work.
Yeah. And for at least the first few years when there were a lot of black people there, that nobody was naming anything for the black people that were there. Just
right, at least not in honor.
no. Yeah.
But it could be for Atlan. There's Atlan in South America, the West Coast of South America, down by the Andes.
Oh man, I love Todd, man. Seriously,
Is that one of the
best.
climates that changed?
No, he's not. Well, no, clearly, I'm not one of them. But fair enough. Todd, you're the gift that keeps on giving, man. That's why you're the comment king. But yeah, look, I don't know. I'm not even going to get into that. I don't even know how we got there, but we did. But anyway,
you mentioned Atlanta, and it basically just went off the rails.
Yeah,
that's all I did.
You tried to say Atlanta, but you were trying to say Atlantic, Atlantis. Who knows what you were trying to say?
I blame Jeff. Right, Jeff?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Jeff's
It
I
always
blame Jeff
works.
too. Yeah. Well, anyway, the show opens up.
Yes.
Wrestling.
The show opens up with Atlanta's very own, even though I thought it was from Marietta. But Jeff, you tell me that's a suburb, right?
Yes. Can we not do this every time?
Well, wait, I'm going to do something that he does all the time. But anyway, he makes his entrance, he gets on the mic. He asks what his home of Atlanta wants to fucking talk about. Can you stop doing that already, Ray?
Doing what?
What do you want to talk about?
Oh, yeah, here you go.
What do you guys want to talk about?
Oh, you wanted me to do that
damn.
or not? I don't know
God
what's going
damn
on.
it. God damn it. He's got to stop saying that.
That's his gimmick, dude.
Yeah, but can't he come up with something better than that? Like, seriously.
Clearly not.
Yeah, I was about to
I mean,
say, probably
come
no.
Jesus. He should do the cross-eyed look too while he's saying it. But anyway, before saying they don't really have to talk with the large shadow looming over the arena tonight, of course he means Brock Lesnar though. And there's one thing for sure, and that's when Brock is called to the ring. He shows up, so he should be coming to the ring to accept his challenge right now. He'll wait here all night if he has to, but after a moment of posturing, he moves on to tell us that he isn't just the city that built him, but the woman that built him is right here in the front row. The camera shows Michelle Rhodes to us, and Cody says there's a reason his catchphrase isn't funky like a monkey, and that's because his mother made him who he is. Ray, I know. Did you know his mother's Cuban?
I did
So
know.
does that make him part of the LWO?
Actually, he's half Cuban, so why the
He
fuck
is.
not? Yeah, I knew exactly who his mother was. I've seen Dusty Rhodes, the gimmick they had. It was like a documentary on Dusty. Really good one. I forgot where I watched it though. But anyway, yeah, that was cool. I kept telling my wife, I was like, I want Brock Lesnar to beat his mother in front of him. But they weren't gonna do that. They don't do that shit. Wouldn't that shit? Could you imagine? Could you imagine the pure? They won't do it now. But the pure fucking heat. If Brock Lesnar gave a fucking boot right in the fucking tit.
I would rather not do that and have just said, like, after he beat up Cody in front of her, just to take in the mic and go, I don't give a shit about your mother.
Right? Oh no. He grabs his mother by the hand. I'm gonna fuck your mother and takes her to the back or something. You know,
but did you see a lot of the like teenage, it's maybe early 20-something guys that were surrounding her? There were a lot of Dustin Runnels neck chin lines, right?
Yeah,
Like this one. This is Body Rhodes.
Actually, for a rare time, yes, that's exactly where the neck and the chin they're like one continuous continuum.
I really wanted him though to like do something to his mother. Didn't have to beat her or anything like that, but just like a shove or something, like a push. You imagine
a
that?
beat down would have been great though.
Oh, the heat! Put it right through a fucking table. Anyway,
no, but
they could have redone. They could have redone the thing they did with Heath Slater, right? Where like, remember when he came out and Heath Slater was like, "Hey man, I got kids," and he was like, "I don't give a damn about your kids."
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
He could have been in a situation where he could have come out and Cody could have been like, "Hey, Brock, like, what are you even doing out here? My mother's here in the front row," and Brock goes, "I don't give a shit about your mother."
That would have been great,
right? Even if he grabbed, I know he's going too far now, and we're getting a bit too creative, shall we say? But if he grabbed Brandy by the hair and just, dragged it to the back, and then, you can let your imagination do the talking.
I mean, listen, they already had a Viking match. They already had a Viking match on tonight. So, I mean, rape was apparently on the menu at least. It was at least, an availability. Like,
well, the way that AEW handles their talent relationships, if that happened, probably Awesome Kong would have turned around and given him a back fist, and then that other woman who shaved her head would have come up and cut off Brock's hair and collected hair. They're like, "We're still doing this, right? Sure, nobody told us not to."
That would have been awesome, actually, if Awesome Kong did that. Facebook user says, "Drag her by the ice skates."
Oh my goodness!
Wow,
we're getting a bit too vicious over here.
Give me the old nipple twist. Can you imagine? Just
a nipple cripple. Boom.
He just goes like this and turns both of them at the same time.
Oh boy!
That needs to be a submission finish in AEW.
Sure. But you don't hear her scream. You just hear like an effect going as he grabs him. Oh fuck! Not again.
This is the kind of quality content that gets you to #1 in Kenya, guys.
No shit. For some reason, every time me and Ray are on the same fucking show, there's not one time that we see. Fucking hell! That we start laughing hysterically like this, and I swear the vet's face is priceless.
He's like,
he no-sells it completely, except for the last
like
time.
Jeff, just like Jeff's doing. Look at Jeff.
Yeah. I love it.
Russian
but anyway,
rubber chicken.
Rubber chicken's
this
over,
chicken, man. It's over, bro. Even Don Tony was rocking it just a few days ago. I'm like, hey, it's the same chicken.
Anyway, so
no.
So Brock Lesnar rapes his mom, and what happened?
The chicken sound is Cody climaxing while he's watching him rape his mom. I didn't just say that. But anyway, what happened? How am I going to even read this? Anyway, before saying they don't have to really talk with the large shadow looming over the arena tonight. Oh, sorry. I already said that. Forget all that. Anyway, I already read all that part about Funky Like a Monkey. But there's 2 words to describe his relationship with Brock, he continues on. The only 2 words he can think of are hard times. But that's okay, because tonight it won't be hard times for him. Are you sure about that, Cody? Not in front of his people. It'll be hard times for Lesnar as Cody pops to the floor and hugs his mum and family who are present. But then we hear Brock Lesnar's music hit, and already hard times about to start for Cody. He starts walking to the stage, and Brock's music hits again. This time he strides right back into the entry towards Gorilla. A chair comes flying onto the stage, followed by Cody's body and the raging Brock Lesnar walloping him with a chair over and over pretty hard as Brock drops him with an F5 in front of his mum, and he puts Cody in the Kimura lock and wrenches it in, and that's that and a wrap. Chris, did you like this little segment?
No. There was a lot of Cody Rhodes in this segment. Listen,
wow.
I don't like Cody.
What did you want him to talk about, man?
I can't stand this guy. Every single time he talks, I just you know who he really reminds me of is Gavin Newsom. Nothing this guy says seems legitimate. Nothing.
I agree.
Not a word. This guy is as phony and political as anyone I have ever watched in professional wrestling. I can't stand Cody Rhodes. And I mean, I was laughing because he's like, Brock, if you come out in 5 minutes, I'm going to be sitting right here. And if you come out at 9 o'clock, I'm going to be sitting right here. And if you come out right at the end of the show, I'm going to be sitting right here. All right. So come on out. Oh, you're not coming out. All right, I'm gonna hug my mom and fuck off then. Oh, your music hit. All right, let's fucking go then. You were about to fuck off. Why did you say you were gonna wait in the ring if you're gonna fuck off?
Chris, that's what we call here in Australia a dumb cunt. Straight up. You know what I mean? Jeff, is Cody a dumb cunt or what the hell is he?
Like I said, I pretty much agree with Chris. I thought the promo was dumb to begin with, and usually when you say I'm going to stay here all night in the ring, that's usually teasing you to what happens at the end of the show, not something that happens in the beginning of the show, and that didn't happen. And he spends a whole lot of time talking about how it's not his father that he takes after, it's his mother, which, I mean, I've heard 1,000 times that he takes after his father. I've seen his mother 1,000 times also, so whatever. But then the first words he uses are hard times. Pick a lane, Cody. This was not a good promo. I didn't like it at all.
He's like,
but I did
I can't use funky like a monkey because that was my dad's line. I'm really more like my mom.
Last week,
also, hard times. What the fuck?
Like what was
maybe
his
he's
mother,
doing
an
Big
accountant?
Boss Man.
I don't know what it was, but I liked everything that involved Brock. But he's just like, there's no way I'm going to get beaten up here in front of my people, and then he just gets beaten up right there in front of his people easily. He didn't even get a defensive blow in. Nothing. Not even a little kick to the shin. So I mean, I liked the Brock beatdown and in front of the mother. I thought, and then Brock, how he has that maniacal laugh at her. That part was good. But everything that came out of Cody's mouth, I just thought he's like trying to come up with like clever promos, and clever. I don't hate Cody, but I don't love Cody. I'm just like, if he's good, he's good. If he's not good, he's not good. And tonight he wasn't good.
Ray, what does Cody need to do, man? I mean, the people love him. I don't think they're going to turn on him anytime soon. But he's getting a little stale sometimes. Last week, he totally ripped off his father with his promo. This week, he claims he's more like his mother, but he still said hard times. I'm confused, bro. What's going on?
Well, all right. So, see, I'm gonna disagree with both of you guys. I like Cody Rhodes. I always have liked him, and I always thought he was back in the day. I don't know. There was something about him that I thought he could have been a bigger star. This is just me. I might be wrong. I don't fucking know. But anyway, I don't know. I kind of like this promo. I love Brock. Anything Brock does, I like. I love it because he's so believable.
Absolutely.
So when he comes in, I hate using this fucking moniker, but the mood changes and shit. It's very true. Brock walks in. So anyway, what can he do? I think eventually, and this is what I really do feel. I think he needs to come out as that con man, as that car salesman. I think he needs to ride this wave of support of all the fans until he gets that title. And then
so like the Rock sort of thing when he first won the WWE Championship, if you remember?
Just ride that wave of fan support and and then once he gets that fucking title, because that same smile that he has, right?
That's heel, man.
That's he's a bad guy. So once he gets to that level where he doesn't need anybody, I never needed any one of you motherfuckers, you fucking losers, you pieces of shit. My suit costs more than your car, that type of shit. He can go into that. That would be cool. I've always liked heel Cody Rhodes much better.
Me too, absolutely.
Well, and he can do something that seems really authentic and really legitimate with that too, right? Because I mean, right now. Right, and leading up to WrestleMania, it was all about how he needed to get past his father. Right, he needed to do the thing that his dad never could. Right, and then after he wins the title, it can be like, oh yeah, no, I know, you can have people like chanting Dusty or whatever during one of his promos, and he's like, yeah, but like, yeah, I mean, okay, he was all right, but I'm a world champion.
Right.
Like, look at what I did. My dad never did this.
You imagine that?
I could see him and Brandy being like a Triple H, Stephanie,
absolutely,
corporation way. But
and the thing is like that kind of like I want to be better than my dad is something that basically every man who has ever lived has felt at one point or another in one form or another, right? You want to get to the point where you outshine your dad, right? And then you can, but but you don't outshine him in a disrespectful way if you're a decent human being, right? You want that, but you almost want to do it as like an ode to your father, right? So Cody Rhodes could get fucking nuclear heat by outshining his dad and then being like, my dad was all right. I mean, yeah, okay, he came out in his polka dots and he danced for you. I'm a world champion.
Bro, he has to come out with the fucking the mink, just like his dad. Remember that one time?
Yeah, the giant white mink Cody. Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. There's so much money in a heel Cody Rhodes. And then
with the newsy cap.
And then if you want to bring out his annoying wife, I think that would even add to it, because his wife is hot, but she's
fucking terrible.
You could also do the thing for your father like I did, which is fail to even approach his things legitimately, and that so Dad, I did it for you. I failed for you so that you could stay number one.
No, look, but the cool thing about him playing the heel, I know all of us will know this, but he was the first one to do the ring gimmick, like in today's wrestling. Not MJF, for example. If you remember back when he was a heel in Ring of Honor as the world champion, he'd make everyone kiss.
Nobody remembers that because it was in Ring of Honor.
I don't remember that.
Really?
I watched Ring of Honor. So
that was a good time. That was a great Cody. He was an absolute.
Is this just after he left WWE?
Oh, probably about a year and a half, 2 years.
He went to Impact first.
I saw that run.
Champion.
That run I saw that run.
Right.
It was after that. It's back then. He went to Japan and made friends with the Bullet Club guys, and then
right.
Ring of Honor.
He was part of Bullet Club when he was the Ring of Honor World Champion.
I remember that as well.
Their leader for about 16 days or whatever it was.
Yeah, there was that whole storyline about Cody and Kenny. Right, yeah. But I love that run. That was a great Cody. That's what got me really back into Cody, right? But at the time, when he does the heel thing, he changes his hair color back to his natural hair color, which is brown, whatever, which I like. But I think it should be the other way around, right? Should have the blonde as a heel, and then his natural color as a babyface. But either way, it works.
Is he gray now or silver? What is that?
Peroxide, bro. That's what that shit is. You know what I mean? And moles, like Jeff says. But now I can't. Yeah, once Jeff points it out, you'll never unsee it again.
Can you imagine?
But anyway,
can you imagine real quick the vignettes like from Cody Rhodes Home, where his wife, like, he's yelling at the nanny because the kid is being too loud, that type of shit. Like, could you shut that kid up?
Yeah.
The champion is talking. That type of shit, man. Like, I could see Cody
and his mom, but the mom has to be a heel too, not Brandy. I'm talking about his mother, and she gets out the flip flop, smack on the kid.
He yells. He's yelling at the nanny. He's mistreating the work around the house. You know what I'm saying? No Brandy's in on it, right? But at the same time, he turns around and just does that smile on the camera and just continues to be. God. You get what I'm saying?
I get it. That's all I'm
continue
laughing.
to be like
I'll be
this
like,
character, right? But just you see the other side of it too, right?
Yes.
Like you see how much of a piece of shit he really is, but then like he notices the cameras on him and he's
Yes, and as Chris freezes, I agree with him.
Fucking goddamn kid up. What do you guys want to talk about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Playing like he thinks he's a good guy, but really he shows his total dickheadness.
John Cena from Total Bellas.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, total guys, fake.
He may even deep inside believe that he's a good person.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Spot on. That would be fucking funny, man. That would be. And every time, but I can picture the vignettes. You know, just say they do vignettes for him, and the end of the vignette every time ends with him and that smile, man.
Yes, that's
you know what I mean. Like,
yes, man.
I could almost picture, like Todd said, I think in the chat, like him campaigning. You know what I mean? Like some sort of campaign, like he's running for president, but not really. You know what I mean? Hmm? And and at the end, he does a smile with the American flag in the background. The eagle is flying past. Yes. Like just total fucking piece of shit. Thinks he's a big all-American good guy, but really he's just the most narcissistic, conniving piece of shit.
He picks up his daughter and she has a fucking tattoo on her neck too. The
dog has one.
Everybody has to get one of the house. Fucking nanny, his wife.
You see his mother, she's got the same tattoo.
That's fucking gold.
He made everyone in the family get stamped. Like they joined like an African American fraternity or something.
And I mean, the most marked hard wrestler ever in history about himself. We thought, we laugh because we're all Bret Hart fans generally, right? I don't know about Jeff so much, but me and Chris, right? But we also laugh at how much of a mark he is for himself. You know what I mean? What other wrestler has fucking pictures of himself everywhere, including in his bedroom while he's screwing his fucking wife?
I bet more than you think. I bet a whole
No,
lot.
it's true. He does. Actually. He really does. That's why we laugh about it, right?
I know he does, but I'm saying I bet a lot of them do. They just don't show you. I know.
That's the face turn for his daughter. That's the face turn for his daughter. She gets an Autobot tattoo on the other side of her neck. Great.
That is great shit, man. That's good shit, pal. Seriously, that is money.
All right,
I can't stop laughing.
Into Raw. All right, great.
Oh, God, man. How am I going to continue when I'm just going to keep laughing at the thought of that shit, man? That is so good. Oh, man, it's going to be tough.
We got this.
Well, anyway, we get our first matchup of the evening. I'm literally in tears. I'm not kidding. Gunther versus Matt Riddle. And you know what? This match was nice, quick, and just a hard-hitting affair. And, man, those chops that Gunther was giving to Riddle, holy moly. That's all I'm going to say. That was savage. The crowd were hot for this match. But in the end, Gunther does win by pinfall via his powerbomb. Ray, did you love this match? Because I did.
I did. I like this match a lot. I love when, so you know that these guys communicated before the match and they were like, look, man, we're gonna fucking just beat the shit out of each other. It's funny because there was another match I was watching on NXT recently where who was it? It was Braun Breaker. I forgot who he fucking fought this week.
Ilya Dragunov.
Oh, yes.
Bro, Braun Breaker did not like getting chopped at all. Like, he fucking shot on Ilya Dragunov. I don't know if you guys watched this match, but
I've been wanting to, though.
I love when two toughs, hey, say what you want to say about this kid, bro, but he's a tough son of a bitch. Fucking Gunther's a tough son of a bitch. It's been a long time since I looked forward. Check this out. There's been a long time since I really gave a real shit about who the Intercontinental Champion was, and it's starting to happen for me. Like, I like this elongated run. I like his dominance. I like all of it, man. Chris, what do you think, buddy?
Oh, I fucking love Gunther, dude. Gunther's one of my favorites. Ever since he was in NXT, I've had this thing where I talk about him and his little group as the Germans. The Germans are coming and stuff like that. So good though, man. I mean, just bout to bout, match to match. This guy has good wrestling matches every fucking time out. I rarely see this guy have a match that I don't think, wow, that was a good match. And this was easily, by far and away, the match of the night, even though we got a pretty good tag match at the end of the night, too.
Which was great.
But this
Absolutely.
was the match of the night.
That's
and
good.
I'll tell you, man, like, this fucking guy, this is a guy who I really want to see. Like, I really want to see how they're going to move him up to world championship, level, because he's already that good. Like, he's doing really good with the Intercontinental Championship right now, and I don't want them to rush him out of that. But I really want to see what they're going to do to move him up because
underrated promo guy too. You think?
Yeah, he cuts a decent promo. Like, who else has an accent that's that thick in WWE who can?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Like my wife was watching, like I said, with me, and she was like, that guy looks ugly and mean and tough, and like she's like, that guy looks real.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely.
He looks like the kind of guy who would have been beating people up at the fucking concentration camp. I know.
Oh my God.
I know people don't like fucking but I mean, wrestling is supposed to be a fucking story, dude. Like,
absolutely.
On fucking WrestleMania. I'm sorry, you Ray, you already said that the Track is one of your friends, and I love Track, right? But like for WrestleMania weekend, he was all fucking butthurt because they had those flags drop down, and it's like, really? Really? They dropped the fucking
but
flag?
He plays up on that shit too, bro.
Like,
you know what I mean?
The Track is working almost.
Yeah, he's working.
When the First
100%
Order
working.
did it in Star Wars.
Like,
yeah, it's true. That's actually true.
I mean,
but
it's exactly the symbology they were looking for.
Well, shit, me and Chris used to have a good laughs about what they used to do in NXT. I don't know if you guys ever noticed, but no shit, me and Chris were the only two guys in wrestling podcasts that said this shit. Seriously.
There was a German group that were entirely German, clearly, you know, it's meant to be sort of wrestling Nazis, and they were kidnapping people, and the people were disappearing. And I'm like, is nobody noticing the fucking parallel here on NXT? Because this is hilarious, but like, fuck. You know,
and that's so
like,
typical WWE too.
As somebody who's Oma, like my grandparents are from Germany. My Oma was literally in a concentration camp. Like, I can still have a fucking sense of humor about it, you know. But like, holy fuck, man! Like, this is what they're doing here. They're doing the Germans are coming, and it's fucking hilarious.
Man, to me, I know Judgment Day are the faction of the WWE right now in many ways. But Imperium, I mean, they're great also, even though the other two are not as, you know, charismatic per se as Gunther, but they complement each other really well.
Can I throw something
Absolutely.
at Jeff? Can I
Go
ask
for it.
Jeff? So during this match, right, I was watching something, and I could see like they were bringing up some issues between the two other guys in that whole faction, right? The German faction. Now, there have been rumors that they're going to bring up Ilya Dragunov.
Yep.
Do you agree with me? Do you think that maybe perhaps Ilya Dragunov is going to come in to replace that Vinci guy?
I mean, a lot of people have been saying it. Jimmy's been saying it.
Right,
I've heard people want that. I mean, I right now I see Ilya Dragunov, and he's about to be in a program with Carmelo Hayes, and I don't see that it's necessarily done between him and Braun Breaker, unless Braun Breaker is coming up, which makes sense also. Mm-hmm. But I don't understand why they'd have to replace anyone. Why not just add?
You would add him?
What's the rule that there's 3-man groups? I mean, we used to have 4 or 5-man groups all the time. I mean, so I would prefer that they add rather. I really don't like a 3-man group. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Mm-hmm. They sort of fell in love with it with the Shield, but I'd add them now if you want to have then like a jealousy line and who likes who and who does Gunther love the best. I mean, you know, that'd be fine as well. But you know, if anything, I would add him. But I mean, Ilya right now is doing pretty well as a face, so. You know, keep him. It's hard to make a wrestling face successful, and let's see if he can do it on the main roster. But I don't think he's being brought up anytime soon. I mean, the thing about NXT is that a lot of the guys are a lot smaller than we're used to, and I think they can only bring up so many of them at the same time. This match, I mean, I thought this match was good, but it wasn't much different than the match they already had at WrestleMania. No, I think Riddle got about 40 seconds more of offense in it. So the match was good, but and it was a good TV match, but I feel like I already saw it. It wasn't anything different than anything I saw. It wasn't even like Riddle really learned his lesson and took Gunther, to the woodshed, and then Gunther had to, pull out all the stops. And I mean, he handled them relatively easily, and I'm okay with that too. I just don't think it's worth going on and on about.
Well, we're not talking about it in the sense that it was one of the best matches, period. We're just talking about for Raw.
I don't even think it was the match of the night for me. I mean, it's probably my fourth out of only 6 matches.
Well, at the end of the day, Jeff, that's their style, the way they wrestle. You know what I mean? For the match went for about 6 minutes. It felt like tops, right, give or take. But for that 6 minutes, it was nothing but non-stop action. You know what I mean? I can never get enough of those type of matches.
Chop kick. I mean, they do the same thing in every AEW match. I complain about it. Why would I love it here?
Look at this guy, huh? He's bringing the heat. That's why he's the evil doctor.
One thing that I think I will say, and I'm not gonna. I mean, Jeff and I aren't gonna argue about this or anything, but like one thing that I do think about Gunther, where I give him a pass on the chops, is that when he's doing the chops, it looks more like he's beat a guy up or hurt him so that he's stunned before the chop gets landed. Whereas in AEW, they do the thing where they go, come on, chop me, man. And then they get chopped. And then the other guy goes, now your turn to chop me, man. Come chop me, dude. And it's like they just chop each other back and forth like a bunch of fucking idiots. Whereas when when you see Gunther doing it, it looks more organic, like it's actually a part of a fight. That's
I mean, that
my one thing
yeah.
I'll say for Gunther.
Yeah, him and Samoa Joe probably have the best chops, offensive chops in wrestling, I would say.
They look real. Both of them. You're right. They look like they're an organic part of a fight.
It's not a spot that's part of their offense.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. But as far as Vinci goes, and about if he's going to stay in the group or not, I personally think, and I already said this last week to you, Jeff, but I'll say it again for Ray and our listeners. I do think Dragunov will replace Vinci, because if you have him as a four-man stable, it's going to make Vinci look even more weaker. I mean, he doesn't talk. He doesn't really do much. He's just there. He's just got looks. That's about it. And you know how it goes with the Italians and the Germans back in World War II in the end. I'm just saying.
Work out well.
Doesn't work out well.
They should do a segment. The Russians and the Germans.
Well, that Russian was born in Russia but raised in Germany. So,
okay.
Yes.
That's
he's a sympathizer. If Sergeant Slaughter can be an Iraqi sympathizer with General Adnan and Colonel Mustafa, why not have Mr. fucking Putin Dragunov become a
Believe
German?
me, there were an awful lot of Russians who were very happy to see German tanks in World
Absolutely.
War II.
And Dragunov can speak fluent German, as a matter of fact. So it would make.
You know what I
sense.
really want them to do? I want them to run a video next week where you have the three of them, and you have Gunther being like, Giovanni, you have failed in your mission, and you are not
like
good.
Mussolini.
So we must go to the camp to train, and then they just show him getting just tortured in the camp. Say no, just have him getting tortured in the camp. Say, but not like tortured, but just like he has to like put his hands up on like the thing,
and Gunther's like
Gunther just chopping the shit out of him, and he's just like
you don't see him for 3 weeks, and then when he comes out, it's Gilbert.
Oh my god! I just think it makes sense. I mean, all three of them then can speak German. Vinci doesn't need to be there anymore, and that's that. And plus, look, Gunther, Kaiser.
What are you gonna do with Vinci though? Like the one thing is, like, you can hide his weaknesses as a tag team with Kaiser.
Right.
That's true. You don't have to. You don't really need him to have like a great personality, and you could have a 4-man stable where Gunther's going for the world title, those two are going for the tag titles. And Ilya's going for the Intercontinental Championship or whatever.
Right.
Like you could run it like that too, and then you could have the Germans have all of the gold at the end of the war. That would be great.
the superior race, the Aryans. But I mean, what do you do with Vinci? Vinci and Kaiser they're a spectacular tag team. You haven't seen it much on the main roster, but they're about as good as it get when they work together. They haven't been allowed to, and they've been the pin eater for obvious reasons. Gunther's the star. But anyway, I don't know what you do with them. I would like to, WWE has sort of a on again, mostly off again relationship with tag team wrestling, period. But they're actually an exceptionally good tag team, and when it's ready to put the gas on it, I mean, they can have terrific matches, even if it's just to put over a new team like the Creeds or the Sangamaniacs.
Oh no, please no.
Please. There's never been a great 4-man stable anywhere or more. Never.
What up, Jam? What's cracking, man? Nah, but look, I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Either way, I think even though the history between Ilya Dragunov and Walter Gunther, whatever you want to call him, goes way back, I still think it can work out. But this comment here by Jam, where is it? Does it come up for you guys yet? Oh, it has. I can't even read it for some reason. But anyway, he says he goes back to training and then Gunther renames him and he's ready to some German warrior gimmick. whatever you want to call him. Anyway, look, we'll see what happens. But let's move on though, fellas, because after that, we see post-match Gunther gets on the mic and says, you can boo all you want, but the fact is, tonight is the greatest night of our sad lives because we get to see the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. He says Riddle is done and he's building a legacy, and if Drew McIntyre wants to ride on his coattails, be his guest, but Drew will fall to the ring general like everyone else. Nice little promo at the end. What I did like about that little promo, he looked like he was shaking because he was getting angry just talking, which I loved it, man. Just the way he was doing it. And, Gunther's money, Jam says, "Oh, stop horsing around, Jeff. Thank you, Jam.
You don't get the pun.
I don't care.
He said there's no good four-man faction. Stop horsing around.
I know.
No, you
I
don't.
know.
No, you
I
don't.
do.
You don't.
Anyway, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez are next interviewed backstage. They say they're prepared for anything for the tougher the battle, the sweeter the victory. They're not backing down from anybody, as then we see Rhea Ripley rolling up to get in Raquel's face. Rhea headbutts Liv and Rodriguez unloads on her, and they brawl until road agents and referees show up to pull them apart. And then Judgment Day make their entrance as we go to a break. Ray, did you like this little segment?
Jimmy, if I did this to you, you know what this is? Wrestling wise?
No, what is that?
You don't
What
know
does that mean?
this faction?
Oh, you're talking about Adam Cole and shit?
Adam fucking Cole.
Wait, what the fuck is that? What faction's that?
It's fucking Fortune from TNA.
Oh, God, AJ Styles and shit and Ric Flair and all that.
Fucking greatest faction of all
Come
time.
on,
Anyway,
bro.
so yeah, Rhea
God damn
Ripley.
it.
So what happened here? Rhea Ripley. It's looking what?
Basically, Rhea Ripley rolls up, got into Raquel Rodriguez's face, and Liv Morgan was the third wheel.
Yeah. It's fine. I mean, it's so predictable. You know it's going to happen. So one of these things, one thing I hate about professional wrestling is when something is cookie cutter, done so many times, uber predictable. I totally tune out. So I'm like,
I don't blame you, man.
so Ripley comes in. I'm like, all right, she's gonna fucking go off screen and then come back and attack her, just like what's gonna happen later on in the night. Same shit. She's gonna go off screen and come back. They did it twice. They did it fucking twice in one night.
I like
Same
one thing
thing.
about
Same
it, and
thing.
that is that she made an effort to show you that she was kicking her in the leg, in the knee, and that later on that knee injury was part of the story, and it'll probably continue to be part of the story in SummerSlam to sort of protect Raquel.
Now,
They think is going to be a star. I'm not so sure about.
Jeff,
Yes, sir.
the kick to the knee, I thought was a bad move. I'm gonna tell
That
you what.
was super fucking weak, by the way. Like,
Bad
even if
move.
they wanted to do it,
Right.
it was. I mean, even if that's what they chose to do, it looked like she just like tapped her in the knee.
Oh yeah, it wasn't
It was
executed
there you go.
well.
It happened so fast. If you really weren't paying attention to it and you missed it, then you wouldn't realize, you wouldn't understand. Now, if she grabbed a weapon, a bat, a metal, there was a whole bunch of metal shit falling. She told me she couldn't grab a pipe and just kind of just like whapa. Then that would have made
Weapon.
sense.
Or she just stood over her and kicked, did some of those BCC like stomp kicks on it before
Sure.
security and then the guys got there. I mean, yeah, no, you're right. It was one kick. It wasn't well
Too quick.
executed, and security acted like it was, and they came in too quickly.
What do you think,
It's-
Jimmy? Nobody ever asked you what you think. What do you think, Jimmy?
I'm kind of indifferent to it. It was whatever, cool, I guess. I mean, what's
That's
there
why
to
we
really
don't
say
have
about
Jimmy,
it?
Ray.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what's
Sorry,
there to
Jim.
say about this?
I'm
Ryan was
just
like,
learning.
oh, the Four Horsemen.
I'm learning. No,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Chris, but what did you have to say anyway, man? This is not about me. Believe me, it's about you guys more so than anything. Otherwise, we'll be here for way too long.
So
But
sweet.
Chris,
It was just, I agree. Like, that was the one thing that I noticed. And then they showed a replay of it showing just exactly how weak the kick was. Like,
fucking replay, dude.
don't show me a fucking replay of your shitty fucking botch. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Bingo. Absolutely.
That's spot on, man.
I mean, AEW does that all the time. WWE
Instead,
usually knows better.
instead,
They don't do
you have a
that, right?
close-up of
WWE
the
usually
announce
doesn't do
team.
that.
Instead, you have a close up of the announce team, and you say, "Oh, listen, folks. Before break, there was an assault backstage. We
That's
don't
it.
want to show you the video of what happened because of the gruesome nature of what happened to Raquel Rodriguez's leg. But she's saying now that she feels like she's clear to go. We have Raquel Rodriguez backstage right now. We're going backstage to see her, and then you go right to the segment where Raquel's backstage arguing with fucking medical doctors and saying, "No, I'm good to go." Don't
It's
re-show
almost as if-
me. You
it's almost
fucked
as if
up.
The writers in sports entertainment weren't good enough to get into the union.
Yeah.
yeah, but I did like the headbutt though. I mean, it looked pretty good, even though she didn't really headbutt it per se. It was like to the shoulder,
To
but
Liv,
still,
yeah.
it kind of looked
I
on Liv.
actually
Yeah,
thought that was sort of weak too. I think the whole
Glass
thing
cow.
was,
it was. I did say it was like to the shoulder, but it kind of looked all right for television anyway, if you're not really picking on it and whatnot. But still, whatever, Raquel Rodriguez is going to get killed anyway by Rhea Ripley, and it is what it is. But yeah, for me, I was kind of indifferent with this segment. I kind of zoned out. sometimes with this type of shit, but it is what it is. Anyway, let's move on because Rhea Ripley says they're just better than everyone. And now that no one can stop them because, sorry, I had to say Judgment Day come out to the ring. They not only run Monday Night Raw, but they absolutely dominate it. She's the most dominant woman in the division. And tomorrow night, her Latino Heat will become the NXT North American Champion. And then Damian Priest says all the boos change nothing. And he's a guarantee to be the world champion as agreed upon. Finn Balor gets first crack at Seth Rollins. And then Finn says whatever Seth has to say later, he'll be listening. But remember, the issues they have will never end until his arm is raised as the new world heavyweight champion. And before I move on to this segment, I just want to say the Judgment Day got a pretty big pop when they came out, man, at first.
Yeah, people liked them. They were over.
They really, yeah, I agree. I personally am starting to like Judgment Day a lot. And you know what? I'll officially say this. I think for once now, I think, you might not agree with me, but I think finally all four of them now are starting to get over. It used to be just Dom and Rhea pretty much. But now Priest is back on the right track. Heck, even Balor is. I don't know if you agree with me, Ray, but I feel like there's something special now brewing with the four of them.
Yeah, I agree. You know what I kept noting? I don't know if it's just me, but whenever I look at them all standing together, I keep looking at how fucking big Damian Priest is.
He's
That's
huge,
a big
bro.
Fucking guy, man.
Yeah,
he does have a presence about him.
Absolutely does.
I'm still bitter about the LA Knight thing, but neither here nor there. I wouldn't hate it if I wouldn't hate it if Damian Priest won that secondary. What is it? The World Constellation Championship.
The World Constellation Championship.
Yeah,
That's
championship.
The Workers' Compensation Commission.
There you go. That thing. I wouldn't mind if he won the title, and then there's just like fucking Finn Balor, like internal struggle between them two. Right. But I'm interested, as you know, I do cover NXT. I'm interested to see if they would take the belt off of this kid Wesley on NXT. I know you guys probably don't watch NXT.
Oh, no.
Jeff,
you know what?
I watch it every week.
I've got a feeling they might pull the trigger.
I hope they do.
That.
I hope they do. I wouldn't mind that at all. I think that's great. That's great.
But
that's a great thing.
That would be great
but is that,
for NXT too.
But time out.
That would be a really good pitch for NXT because all of a sudden you've got the most hated guy on the main roster showing up every week with your NXT title and being like, I won this and you can see me defend it this Tuesday. If you would all shut up, let me finish my promo. You can see me on Tuesday. Right? Like,
but wouldn't it also be cool if you know he gets just like a really big swollen head about having that title? He's the only guy in the group that actually has a belt. Yeah, you have a briefcase, but I actually have a championship. You know, what do you have, Finn Balor? So, yeah, you can go a whole bunch of ways with this, man. Go ahead, Jimmy. I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to say, is this a way for WWE to kind of put Dominic into NXT and we don't really see him on the main roster?
No, I don't think that's
Or do you think he'll bring that North American Championship onto the main roster? Right.
Absolutely.
That'd be interesting.
He'll go back and he'll transit back and forth.
Yeah.
No
way they're taking Dominic off WWE TV.
No, I agree. I've been praising him long ago, man. I was the only one. Everyone used to look at me like I'm crazy for saying what I was saying, but look at him now. Yeah. I think he's doing great. I'm serious, and I know Vet thinks he gets that go away heat per se, right? I don't agree with that. I truly think the people kind of like him deep down, and they're booing him because he's meant to be booed. He's
I think they
he's a chicken shit heel. Right, that's what I'm saying.
My thing about Dom has always been the same, and I think that they're killing it. They've been killing it for a year or so. I just and they've got a bit of runway left, but at some point he and Rhea are going to be split, and I'm just saying, then what? Then it's going to have to be Dom, and when it's just Dom without Rhea next to him, I have no confidence.
Real quick, there's a comment here from Zane Vicious. It says, "I'll be what is it? It'll be a slick way of getting Wesley on the main roster." For Wesley, I like the kid a lot. I think the kid has tons of fire. I think the kid has tons of heart. I think he's an incredible athlete. He is the epitome of way too small to be on the WWE roster, unfortunately.
I think that he is the natural successor, and this story is the natural segue. He's the natural successor to Rey Mysterio as the undersized baby face that always
give
fights.
him a mask.
They don't want him. They don't want him.
It's a
They
shame,
don't want
man.
him in that
It was-
spot.
There was
They
more.
do not want him in the Rey Mysterio spot
Yeah,
because
there was
they
more
need a
money
Latin
with
star there.
the Rascals, I think, guys.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, there was
I
a
think
ton of money in the
Rascals are better.
Rascals. Man, when they were still together, that
Speaking
fucking
of the
team, I
Germans.
loved those guys
Me too.
in Impact,
In
man. In
Impact,
Impact,
right.
those guys were fucking money.
Yeah, they were
I liked
great.
them too in Impact, I must say, as the Rascals, man. They were cool. Jeff,
The other two just reunited in Impact, didn't they?
Yeah, and Zane, Zane, you're saying that Leo Rush was on the main roster. How'd that work out?
exactly.
Leo
true.
Rush is a lot. He's a lot daintier than Wesley is. Wesley is thicker. He's still a small guy, but he's
very
he's
small.
thicker. He's not.
He's
that
bigger than
much
Rush,
smaller
though.
than Ricochet.
Bro.
That's true too.
Bro, I think he's like 5'7". And if we know the old wrestling adage, if he's 5'7", he's probably
Say 5'9"?
5'5".
But Ray
Oh,
is
wait,
there.
that's what they bill him on
Legato
wrestling?
is there. Pete Dunne is there.
Awesome.
Ricochet is there. There's and even some of the bigger guys. I mean, Bronson Reed, Otis, and Chad Gable. I think the tallest among them is 5'9".
No, I told you I've seen friggin' Jonah more than once, man. Like in person,
Short.
believe me.
And by short, I mean my height. I don't mean short.
He's
I mean
about
short for
he's
wrestling.
about 5'10" realistically, but he still looks massive. Believe me. I'll tell you who he's small and looks a lot smaller, even though he looks small on television. Ishii. When I first saw him in person, I was like, wow, he's tiny.
Who the fuck is that?
Yeah, we watched. This is a WWE show. Don't talk to us.
So real quick,
Come on,
Wesley
just
is
say.
billed. He's billed
Right.
at 5'9". So that means he's about 5'7". He's my wife's
Right.
height.
Right.
What? What?
He's
He's
my
your
wife's
wife?
height. Huh?
He's your
No,
wife?
he's my wife's height, you son of a-
Oh, that'd be weird.
Even though he's very attractive, if I was,
He is. He's
you hit that right,
damn
Jimmy?
Yeah.
No? All right, good.
Yeah, see, what Liz said is actually a good
No, Jimmy's
comment.
a John Morrison guy. We've established that
no,
several
no,
times.
that was a joke, but anyway.
Uh-huh.
Elizabeth
Seven
said Jonah
times.
Jonah looks as wide as he is in tall in person.
He does.
Which is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because that's kind of true.
It's a presence.
He's
it's what it
huge,
is.
man. He really is in person. He's huge.
He's a big guy.
There's something about him, man. I don't know.
He doesn't look like a regular person. You say him and Otis, they both look like human wrecking balls. Like one looks like a wrecking ball, the other one looks like a refrigerator.
Can you imagine those two guys in a tag team?
I imagine it all
We've
the
said
time.
that. We've said
you
that.
do?
We've said that plenty of
Yeah.
times.
Oh
And they were
my
teasing
God.
it. Actually, there was a time where Jeff brought it up before they were teasing it. And then, no shit, a week later, suddenly there was interactions between Bronson Reed and Otis. But then they went nowhere with it for some reason. But
Yeah, they
for a
went in
moment,
whole
I thought,
different
shit.
direction. But it's
Right.
okay.
That's kind of crazy.
There's time. There's time. All my dreams come true if I'm patient enough.
But they should. And they can be like the new natural disasters or something like that, man. You know what I mean? Like Earthquake and Typhoon. Even though they were much taller and shit.
Yeah, Earthquake.
They're the mini big guys, you know? You can call them the fridges for all I care. You know what I'm saying? Fridge and the refrigerator or some shit.
I would just call them the wrecking balls. I mean, that's what they look like.
Sure.
Yeah, or they are balls, literally. I mean, shit. Anyway, back
Yeah,
to the...
balls, right, it's wrestling.
Exactly. Back
What
to
are those big
the...
stones and Stonehenge? Are those called dolmens? Is that what they call?
I have no idea,
I
actually.
would call them that. I would call them the henges or something. The dolmens.
The hinges.
But that's probably too meta.
Yeah,
The
people,
Oh,
megaliths.
Oh, no.
The big fat
Really?
fucks. All right, moving on.
all right.
Wesley and Otis would be the new Jesse and Festus. Oof.
No.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Anyway, we see Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens approaching the ring. Sami says he usually has a good handle on where the WWE Universe is, but he wants to ask to double check. Did the fine people of Atlanta come here to listen to Dominic Mysterio talk?
Yes.
This reminds me of the fucking NWO Scott Hall promo. Oh, you're here to see the NWO. You kind of did it the same way. Anyway, the fans obviously start booing. Damien then challenges them to put their titles on the line tonight. Sammy is receptive to the idea, but he wants to hear from Kevin Owens first, as Kev screams that he doesn't care as long as he puts his boots in Dom's face, basically, and has a Tourette syndrome moment. The titles are on the line. Adam Pearce then meets with the trainer backstage, who says Raquel is technically good to go, but he'd prefer to cancel the match and get some scans done, whatever. And Raquel protests, and Adam says if she says she's good to go, and if the trainer is willing to sign off, he'll allow the match to proceed, and we go to a break. Anything to report on here, Chris?
No.
Jeff, Ray? Nope. We just move on.
Goes all around.
All right, knows it is. Next, we get a WWE Women's Tag Team Championship matchup between Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. And, man, I was happy that Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville win by pinfall with a knee from Deville on Liv Morgan winning the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. These two women have actually earned the tag team titles, Ray. I don't know, man. I think they've been building some momentum. They're pretty good together.
One more than the other.
Yeah, maybe, but still, Chelsea Green's the star of this team. Let's be honest. But yeah, Ray, what do you think?
They're both very good.
They are.
I've been following Chelsea. I've been following Chelsea Green for a long time, even before.
Same here, man.
Even before Impact Wrestling. Sonya Deville. I think it's crazy to say. I think her being that GM for that time was possibly, hear me out, one of the best things that ever happened to her fucking career.
I agree.
I think she should still be in that role. So
yeah, I mean, she could. But with all that being said, so I know I'm gonna sound like, oh, I'm talking shit in retrospect, but I told my wife, I said, I have a feeling there's gonna be new champions. I just had a feeling because I said to myself, I said, they're gonna change the titles here to put doubt in our mind for the main event that maybe the titles can also change in the main event. If that makes any sense. That's kind of
absolutely. You're spot on.
But I also want to get Raquel separated so she can go after Rhea.
Right. That also. That's very good.
Well, that was their way out.
Jeff. Right. So, yeah, man. Listen.
And Liv's gimmick to this point has been that she's hard luck, right? Like she can win. She can get a tag team partner, but she can never be consistent in that. Right. So
she's a choker. In other words, she gets the big one.
Sure, she is. What?
Yeah. Anyway,
I'd let her choke on it. I
mean, Bad Body agrees.
You have this? Well, what is it?
I'd let her choke on it. I mean,
how you like that?
That's cool.
Shit, Jeff.
You can quote me. You can quote me.
I was trying to put this.
Oh, there we go,
too, Jimmy.
Oh, nice, very nice.
Yeah, we have dueling producers tonight.
Yeah, well, Jeff. Anyway, what's your take on this whole thing, man?
I thought it was fine. The match was fine. It was harmless. I think that it's like Chris said that Liv is she can win the title. She can't hold on to the title. But the main thing is they wanted to reward Chelsea and Sonya. They're actually a tag team, or they've become one. Chelsea was supposed to be with Carmella. That thing was absolute gold. Carmella went in
that was going to be good too, man. That's true.
Yeah, but she went and got herself pregnant. So so they got her a different partner. Sonya was with Fire and Desire, and then she's had a couple of other teams that didn't quite work out. But they're doing this whole thing, including the knee injury, to get Raquel soloed off. In the match with Rhea, and the knee is going to play a role one way or another. And I guess the only question is does Liv get a title shot first? Does Liv turn on Raquel at some point? Does anyone care? But whatever it was, I mean, I'm fine with this title change. I know these titles have been hot potato too much. At some point, it needs to stop. But always like since actually, I guess. Shayna and Nia held them for a while, but aside from that,
and Io Sky and what's her face?
Oh no, you're not talking about. You're talking about the Kabuki Warriors. You're talking about Kairi Sane and Asuka.
No. I'm talking about what's
Damage Control. They won and lost those titles like 3 times.
Control now.
They held them for a while though. At one stage, it felt like.
I don't think more than 2.5 months tops. Anyway, someone needs to hold them for at least a half a year, and I don't know if this is the team to do it. But anyway, it was fine. I mean, I don't think there's much to really say about it that we didn't already, but I'm not the only one here.
Can I say one really quick thing?
Absolutely. You can say whatever you want, Ray.
I felt there was a sense of I felt good for the 2 girls that won the titles. I know these tag team belts are bullshit and stuff like that, but
doesn't matter, man. It's still
for
something.
I was like, you know what? Good for them. Like, Chelsea's had a fucking rough time at it, getting injured all the time. Sonya Deville, she kind of got buried behind Ronda Rousey when she came up, because Sonya Deville was the MMA girl when she came up. Right. And then you had Ronda Rousey coming, and you had then you have what's her name, Shayna Baszler. She kind of got buried as that. So her gimmick was fucked. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
And I like the fact. Listen, all jokes aside, for people that are part of the LGBTQ community, I love the way Sonya Deville does her thing.
She's class, bro.
She's a classy gay
Absolutely.
athlete that is beautiful. She is strong. She I think she cuts a good promo, and she's just really good at what she does. And I wish more athletes that were part of the LGBTQ community would be such a class act as she is. Her. I think she does a great job at representing her community.
That's what you call an ambassador for her community, bro.
I really
Absolutely.
do, and I just wanted to put that out there because as much as we joke around, man, love is love, bro. Love who you want to love, but the way she does
and he holds a goal.
The way she takes care of her business, the amount of work she's put into improving her character, her in-ring work, and bro, I'm very happy for her. I'm very happy for Chelsea, and I think this is a nice spot for them.
I agree, man. I 100% agree. And see, that's the thing. I'm not even going to get into it because it's politics, right?
Politics, I guess.
I could have gotten more. I wanted to say something, but really, there's no point because it's just going to open up a can of worms. But I totally agree with you when it comes to what's her name, Sonya Deville, because she represents a community exactly how I would expect someone to represent any type of community. You know what I mean? Facebook user says, I'm gay for rubber chickens.
God damn right. Squeeze that chicken. There you go. There you go.
Just
That's
for
true.
you, bro.
You get two chicken squeezes for that one. Anyway.
And Elizabeth says...
Sorry. I hate that.
No. I love it because I've never got it on call every time. Anyway, Liz says the K-Sound should have the titles. You guys think they're the best tag team, period, in WWE, right?
That's
right?
the ball
Like you guys say. And Zane Vicious says, no more K-Sounds, damn it.
I love the K-Sounds. Katana Chance and Caden Carter.
Oh, K and K Dance Factory.
Oh,
right. Oh, God.
Those girls are fucking poetry in motion, man. Have you ever seen them?
Oh, yeah, but they should be pocket rockets. That's what they should be called, bro. K-Sound sounds like they're DJs on the radio or some shit.
Pocket rockets.
Yeah,
Is that something different in Australia? Because in the United States,
it means small fucking pocket rockets.
That's not what it means in the United States. I'll tell you that.
What does it mean?
I don't know, Jeff.
What
Have
does
you
it
ever
mean?
heard?
I am not getting into this. I'm not trying to. I'm not. Someone's lost translation here.
It's sexual, isn't it? Right?
Well, yeah,
You're
when
thinking.
you
Of course, I knew that. I knew that's another term, but that's what I mean. Pocket rockets.
Well, when your gimmick is, full stance and it's kind of like in your pocket, you tell the girl, hey,
not a rub and tug or like,
I'm sorry,
or
Chris,
playing fucking ball tennis or something.
Chris. I see your patience is growing thin. Can we continue, please?
Chris. Anyway, give us your thoughts on this matchup anyway, man.
This was a much better matchup than I thought it was going to be. I saw a women tag team match, and I thought, oh, here we fucking go. It was not that bad. It was not that good, but it was not that bad. And as far as, I really like what Big Ray said about, what's
Sonya Deville.
Sonya Deville. She represents something that I actually have been talking about for a long time when it comes to pro wrestling. I really think that a gay wrestler who is openly gay and who we acknowledge on TV is gay, but we don't play up to it, right? Okay, they're gay, but they're gonna be a badass wrestler and they're gonna be fucking awesome and they're gonna focus on wrestling and that's what their focus is gonna be. But we're gonna know that they're gay, they're gonna be openly gay. That's gonna be a really, really cool character. And like one of the things that I've said before, Ray, is like I write stories, right? And I write gay characters sometimes in my stories, right? But they are not gay characters. They're characters and they happen to be gay, right? They're really interesting characters who happen to be gay. That's the way you write a gay character. And the problem that I have with a lot of what we've seen, not just in wrestling, but in all of media in the last few years, there are a lot of characters whose entire character seems to be, I'm the gay one. I'm the gay one. That's my character, right? That's really... It's a terrible representation of the gay community, first of all, because the gay community is not a fucking community of gay people. Okay. They happen to be attracted to the same sex, but they are as varied and as interesting as every other person that you've ever met in your life. And the most important thing about every gay person that I've ever known is not the fact that they're fucking gay. They have something else about them that is way more important to them than who they fucking love. So I love that Sonya Deville could be that character at some point in the future, and I hope she is. Either her or maybe Anthony Bowens over in AEW.
I love that kid too, by the way.
Yeah,
that kid is awesome, and he's this. I thought the other kid, Castor, was going to be the standout, and that kid Bowens, I think, is a huge. He's with what's his name, Darren.
You mean Costa?
No, I thought Castor was going to be the star, but it's the other kid,
Anthony Bowens. Yeah.
What I'm saying is, it's what the other guy that used to be with WWE. He left. His name is Darren something.
Darren Young.
Yeah, Darren Young could have been. I think if they would have done it right. I think when Darren Young was doing the whole millions of dollars with Titus O'Neil, there could have been money in that, but that's neither here nor there at this point.
Well, I think he's better on the indies, to be honest, but no one cares about him anymore, to be honest.
Because they let him play himself. They let him play himself.
But he's a vicious guy on the indies, man. He plays way more of a vicious dude. But as far as Bowens goes, Ray, I want to ask you a question. Because I don't know why he reminds me of this person. You're going to laugh when I say this because you know him very well, as Chris does too. Does he remind you of a young GGP a little bit? I knew you're going to laugh, and I'm not saying that as a gay in a gay sense, all right? I love GGP, but for some reason, he reminds me of a young GGP. It's just his look and shit. I don't know, man.
Absolutely.
Even the work, actually, even his in-ring work is kind of reminiscent of GGP.
Matter of fact, I'm going to clip this off and send this to Greek God. And
tell him. No, you're going to give me heat, bro. You're going to get...
I mean, you sort of did it to yourself. I mean,
I know, and I thought about it.
There was like no reason you needed to do this.
I'm telling you, I will hear it. If you do, I'm telling you now, bro. He will give it to me. He will give it to me.
Oh, he'll give it to you? What are you talking about here?
No, not Greek like fucking styles.
Yeah. Hey, listen, this is the way Greeks deal with problems. They give it to each other.
Free sex.
What did I just do to myself? Look at you. You're probably writing it down right now, Ray, so you don't fucking forget, right?
I'm actually trying to clip it.
He's clipping it. He's texting it right now.
What a motherfucker. Seriously.
Speaking of the primetime players, we were gifted and reminded why Titus O'Neil should definitely not be the third member of the Raw commentary. He was terrible. First Corey Graves asked him about the Viking Raiders and a Viking Rules match, and he's like, "Oh, I was never in a Viking Rules. I was just in a regular match." And then they're talking about Valhalla and the gods, and on the air he goes, "I only have one God, Jesus Christ." Shut up! This is Salvation Sunday. This is talking about the friggin' Vikings.
Dude, as a Christian guy, I was like, okay.
Exactly.
All right.
It's like, dude, you're on TV. This is your role. We're not asking you to endorse paganism.
He's the worst.
God. Oh boy.
How is somebody that's such an eloquent speaker? Because he is a very good speaker. If you ever see him in those big events, just be so fucking terrible on doing his job as a wrestler. I don't know.
It's weird, right? It's weird.
Comments. Some people need prepared statements.
Yeah, but it's funny you say that, Ray, because Dean Malenko was known to be really funny in the back amongst the boys and shit, but on camera, he's just, he was plain as fuck.
Yeah, no.
Do you know what I mean? So some guys are kind of like, don't get me wrong, I was a Malenko fan, the Iceman, remember? Fucking the man of 1,000 friggin' holds, whatever the fuck.
I love Malenko.
Absolutely.
Worst horseman ever, including
no.
I love that. That's underrated, that horseman.
Including Paul Dean Malenko.
What about Luger, though? You can make the argument with Luger, though.
No, you cannot.
Great for Horseman. You kidding me?
Luger looked like Superman. What are you talking about? As the only person in NWA, WCW.
But was he a horseman, really? He didn't fit that horseman mold, in my opinion.
Right. Mongo McMichael. Can we all agree?
No, he at least brought an NFL football player. It's like Dean Malenko.
Was he really that bad? I didn't mind Mongo, man.
He had a gigantic head. He looked like a dwarf. No, terrible, boring, awful, the worst.
Okay.
Benoit was great too for
everybody was great compared to Dean Malenko, the worst horseman ever.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, anyway, let's move on, fellas, because I don't know if you guys want to talk about this or not, but we see Rollins. Oh. Yeah, I knew you guys. So do you want me to just skip?
No, just recap.
Right past it. Well, basically, Rollins Rollins says the World Heavyweight Championship deserves a marquee moment at SummerSlam, and it's a very short list, but Finn Balor is on it. So is Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre and Gunther. Finn Balor then rolls up and pulls up a chair. He says he wants his rematch and he doesn't care how many other contenders there are. The line starts with him. Do what you got to do. Talk to Pierce and make the match. Seth then considers him for the moment and says he understands where Balor is coming from, but he has to stop.
Case to make. Didn't he lose his last title match? Fair and
That's
square.
true, he did. You're right. So why?
Yeah, he's got a compelling case to make. Well, I lost against you, fair and square. So
technically, you know, they're at 1-1 if you go by their Universal Championship.
I'm not going technically by anything. I'm going for he just challenged for the WHC just weeks ago and lost.
True. You're right. I mean, but whatever. I guess he's still number one contender because they do announce the match. But anyway,
I hate when WWE does this. Hate it. Go to the back of the line, son. Go to the back of the line, you little leprechaun shamrock.
It's more got to do with Damian Priest's story too and Judgment Day, really, this match. But anyway, Finn denies living in the past and says he's living in chaos, and he'll take the title there and do what was done to him to Seth. He'll hurt him, he'll laugh in his face, and he'll take his career and alter it forever. Rollins then says the title's bigger than Finn. Pun. I guess there's a good pun there. Hell, it's bigger than he is. And if Balor just wants to settle the score, they don't need a match. They can do that here and now. He tells Balor to take his shot and get out of his face. And Finn stands up and knocks his chair aside before turning and walking away. Seth then apologizes to the crew and takes his mic off. And then Finn wings a chair at his head and puts boots to him. And that's that.
It's not that. Seth was wearing a half shirt. He had a belly shirt. He had his midriff was showing. I hate Seth Rollins.
Why?
He's terrible. He's got a dad bod. He's completely lost his wrestler body. His promos stink. His voice stinks. His clothes stink. Everything about him stinks.
His clothes stinks.
He probably actually really stinks.
If anyone can rock that bullshit, it's him, though, man.
No, it is not. No, it cannot. And if you want any proof that he can't rock his bullshit, look at his wife in that ridiculous pajamas.
That I agree. That I totally agree with. As a matter
two of them,
fact.
they both stink. You know what? Trish is right. Thank you, Trish.
Chris, do they stink?
Maybe this is going to be an unpopular take. I liked this segment. I actually thought that there was a lot of potential here. And I usually kind of have turn-off energy when it comes to Finn Balor, especially as a heel. I heard for a long time that, he was in New Japan. He was way better as a heel. He's going to be so good as a heel when he turns. He's been fucking
the real
terrible.
rock and roller, bro. He's good in Japan.
Fucking awful as a heel. Like turn off the TV kind of response. But I actually liked that he brought up like, look, man, like, you changed the direction of my career when we had our Universal Championship match. And
which is true.
If they could, I feel like if they could actually tap into that would be something that they could actually get something out of, because that's legit. Like without that injury, Finn Balor maybe goes on a 3-month or 4-month long run as the first ever Universal Champion of the WWE. And can actually build off of that. He might be a multiple-time world champion at this point had he not gotten injured. And you could really make the case that would be an interesting thing. But also another one of these things where if you write out the fucking promos, and I know they write out the goddamn promos, why do you keep doing this thing where just like fucking earlier where somebody said where Cody was like, I'm not going to leave. And then he was ready to fuck off right away. And then Liv Morgan later goes, well, Chelsea and Sonya complain a lot about the rules, but they don't seem to want to follow the rules either. And I find that ironic. And I'm like, you're a fucking moron. That's not what irony is. That follows logically. They don't like the rules, so they don't follow the rules. Who the fuck is writing this? And then you've got Finn Balor going, I'm not living in the past. I'm living in chaos. Also, remember in the past? Like, what the fuck, man? You're writing the fucking promos down.
Well, Bobo Seth Rollins, who says, he goes, take your shot. And then, I'm sorry about that, guys. It's like took a half a second for a squirrel.
He took his shot, all right.
What was coming.
He was coming. Veer was coming. Now Finn's coming.
I wish Veer came.
Yeah.
All over you, right? Fucking.
Ooh.
No, on the TV show,
He
Jimmy.
can give you Sangamania right in your mouth, right, Jeff?
Jimmy.
Wrong, Jimmy. Wrong.
Jimmy.
Oh, God.
Jimmy, Jeff
What?
is not Greek. Okay, we've
Will you stop?
I love that. I love Gorilla Monsoon. Anyway, oh man, R.I.P. to him and Bobby the Brain Heenan. Anyway, let's move on, shall we? I like Rollins, as all you guys know, though, man. I don't know why Jeff hates his guts. I personally don't even think. I know it's easy to say that the fans love him and he's just nothing but a friggin' song, right? But I think the fans I legitimately think they actually like the guy and the song's catchy. So, yeah. And as Elizabeth said, Chat GPT, wrote the promos.
That's great.
I mean, that's a possibility at this point. Seriously. The way some wrestling's friggin'... I mean, AEW, there's a big possibility, especially on Wednesday nights. You know what I mean? Because it really feels that way. Anyway.
Real quick, can I ask you a question? How many times did they say, let's do this right here, right now?
Yeah, no, I was just waiting for them to take their pants off and, and go
What's
for it
wrong?
and take their shot.
Why are you waiting for all that? Like, that's you're going like hyper gay tonight. This is like really.
You know what?
I'm happy,
gay.
bro.
You know what, guys? The
happy.
last button I'm gonna press for the night, Jimmy.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
Why are you gay?
You are gay.
You are gay.
I'm happy.
The greatest interview in the history of all interviews.
What?
Oh, it's so fucking hilarious.
That's so
seen
gay.
I watched that shit back. I was like, this is just fucking amazing.
The
Like,
greatest interview in the history. Should I call you Mister?
I think Jimmy's just excited that Breezango is reuniting as Dirty Breeze.
Oh,
why don't they call themselves Febreze? One of them was named Fandango, and the other one was Breeze. Febreze.
Because they are not as clever as you are.
Yeah, Chris. Sorry, everyone's dumber than you. Fuck.
I mean, I think we've established that wrestling is dumber than we are.
I know.
That's probably a cease and desist, though, bro.
Why?
You know?
Just spell it differently. Just spell it differently. They could have gotten away with
wrestling on the indies. The company will never hear about it, and they wouldn't care.
And spell it differently, it wouldn't fucking matter. You have to be able to prove that somebody mistook you for them in order to get any kind of lawsuit going. And nobody saw Febreze on a wrestling fucking program and thought they were going to watch a bottle of fucking cleaner wrestle somebody else in a tag match.
Or they can get a fucking Pornhub fucking pro or a Brazers fucking. No, sorry, and call them like the Brazers or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Why not?
Jimmy,
if you want to get around it,
you need sauce one.
That was like a bump arm.
Jimmy, you need to get off of triple X and just go to single X. Okay, you just need to tone it down just to
single X.
Single X limit.
Someone needs a good wank.
Certainly a wanker, that's for sure.
Excuse me. Anyway, let's not go there because speaking of wankers. We've got the Alpha Academy in Chad Gable, Maxine Dupree, and Otis versus the Vikings sloppies in the Raiders in Eric Ivar and Valhalla in a Viking rules match. Chris, what the fuck is a Viking rules match?
Yeah, Chris, what the fuck is a Vikings rules match?
Wait, is he frozen?
Oh,
no, he's back. He's back.
There you are.
I'm good now. Okay, I can tell you, as somebody who is the great grandson of a Viking or two, I can tell you that the Vikings match that they had here tonight was entirely authentic. Like this is how the Vikings used to settle all of their problems when there was an issue between groups of Vikings. They would get together and they would change a ring into being kind of like a really fucked up longship, and they would push like the front of a longship up to the ring, and then they would surround it by their shields, like a shield wall, and they would have a match, a no holds barred match, This is exactly how we used to do it in the old days, and
Oh.
I know that Odin was smiling down on them tonight as they did things in the very traditional way of our people.
As was Baldar, the patron god of varsity Letterman jackets.
Jesus Christ.
Now this match was something I had no interest in seeing whatsoever. And I have to tell you, this match was freaking fun as hell. I don't care what any of you motherfuckers say. This match was fun. There were fun, silly spots. There was fun violence. The Chad Gable somehow got the giant fat guy up for the suplex.
Deadlifted him.
That scared me. I thought he was going to drop him on his head.
Hey, that little motherfucker is strong, man.
That dude.
He's
Holy
strong, man.
Shit.
And listen, I don't give two shits about the Viking Raiders, but if they lost a Viking rules match, this would be as bad as when the Fiend lost the Inferno to Hell match to Randy Orton at WrestleMania, the Get Set on Fire match of all the matches to lose. So they won. Good. They have a win. Terrific. Maxine got her jacket back. I mean,
got pulled through a table.
She got put through a table. Lana, her and Valhalla can have a match at SummerSlam on the pre-show. All this is just, it was just fun. This was just fun wrestling.
It was wrestle crap, but fun.
Yeah, this was good. This was fun. It was a fun little match.
Yeah,
So, whenever my wife never watches wrestling with me. She never watches TV, like wrestling, never watches. And if I usually have to watch wrestling and we're in the same room, I'll usually just watch it on my phone or on my laptop, and I'll give her the TV or whatever. We like to stay in the same room. There's always some shit like this that happens. Oh, this is just a lovely moment, ladies and gentlemen. Just a heartwarming moment. The little baby Viking comes in. And
speaking of Norse gods,
her name is Freya. So
yeah, I guess she's technically a Vanir.
But anywho, let me just finish my thought. So my wife is watching this shit, right? And the first thing she says, "Are they going to fight in water?"
Yes.
That's end quote. And then she goes, "Why do they have those shields around the ring?" I looked at Jen and I was like, "Babe, I have no fucking idea what this is."
Tell me that doesn't make you feel so like embarrassed that you're a fan and your missus is like, "What the fuck do you watch?"
So hold on, we continue. She continues with the questions because this is the only match that she asked questions about, really. She's like, "Why?" She goes, "So let me get this straight. What are these people supposed to be? Are they Vikings? Do they really think they're Vikings now?" Like, I'm like looking at her like, "Honey, I don't.
Yes.
Can we just watch the match?" Like,
the answer is yes.
I didn't know how to answer any of these quick answers. Yes. So neither here nor there.
That wasn't a hard question.
I'll put it to you this way, and I'll end with this. I can see why Jeff would find this entertaining. I could see why anybody would find this entertaining. It was fucking batshit crazy. This was the most wrestling match I've seen on WWE in a long time. That makes
this felt like Vince written all over it, man. This was Vince.
This was a Vince McMahon match. Absolutely.
Well, I wish you would do more matches like this one.
No.
Sorry, Jeff?
I wish you would do more fun matches because the Vince stuff looked like the poor executed stuff between Rhea and Liv and Raquel backstage. That seemed like Vince crap to me.
This was Vince shit, bro.
Oh,
this is typical Vince shit.
Well, this was executed well and it was fun.
This was the Christmas match. You know how they have the gifts everywhere and the candy canes, the oversized candy canes, and Santa Claus gets fucking slammed.
Right, when Elias had all the instruments out there, but this was better than those. This was actually
nothing beats Riddle and his bongos. You want to have a hit of my bong, bro?
Pretty much everything beats Riddle and his bongos.
So that's all I got to say about that, bro.
Oh boy. Anyway,
so this is my match of the night. In case you haven't figured it out yet.
Really?
By far.
This was your match of the night.
He loves this type of stuff.
This was the most enjoyable. I thought the most enjoyable thing about the entire night, except for Brock beating up Cody in front of his mother.
Yeah, I know they could have done so much more though with that. But anyway, like Chris said, what Ray said was the best though. Why is it saying that? I keep clicking on Liz's comment and it keeps bringing up.
No, because I keep clicking. I keep clicking.
Oh, you fucking with me, Chris? Oh, that's funny. God damn it. All right, Chris, you do it then, man, because my one's sort of going slow. I don't know what's wrong with my computer.
Vince was saying in the back to Titus, "Fuck your god, Titus."
I beat
Viking
God.
winning.
I pinned God right in the middle of the ring, pal.
Well,
Odin's going over Jesus today.
well, Liz said in
More
the
like
chat that
Baphomet. What?
yeah. Sorry, who? Who told?
Baphomet, that's an entirely different thing.
Satan.
Well, Liz says this was Vince going, "You think you're a Viking, pal? Here's what we gotta do." And that's exactly what happened.
That's exactly how Liz talks also. It's amazing.
No, I'm sure she doesn't, but I had to do the Vince. She was talking through Vince, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, next.
Excuse me 1 second, boys. I got to step away
Yes.
for 1 brief second. I don't know how to X my box out.
Just turn your camera off. Yeah, well, it doesn't really matter.
Viewers, just don't look at that box.
Be right back.
Well, speaking of boxes, anyway, let's move on, boys, because next we see Shayna Baszler making an entrance as we go to the break, and then that turns into a match between Nikki Cross versus Shayna Baszler. What can I say? This was a real squash match as Baszler wins by submission via the Kiwifuda clutch. Chris, anything
Nikki
to
Cross
report on the
year
news match?
4 of getting zero reaction.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty bad, dude. She's bad. Like, real bad.
Terrible.
But, Chris, was this bad?
Oh, this was, I mean, the match was fine because it was just a squash. I don't understand who's the face in this feud?
In this match? Oh, the feud? I have no idea, man.
Yes.
Right. Why is Shayna Baszler wearing a gi to the ring?
Yes.
Once again, I have no idea, Chris.
Why did Nikki Cross have more movement in her entrance than she did in this match?
You're asking too many questions now, Chris.
Because
That I
her
can't
hero
answer.
is Chris Farley.
Why was security stopping Shayna Baszler from getting to the top?
They misunderstood. They got the AEW ban moves list, and there was no permission, and they didn't realize they didn't work for AEW.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know, guys. I do not know what to say about this. Listen, I've been saying for years, and I mean since she got to NXT, I really like Shayna Baszler. I think Shayna Baszler could be a star.
she was
if
awesome
they
in
booked her
NXT,
properly.
bro. Absolutely.
God damn it, this ain't it. This is not it.
Shayna got fucked when Vince McMahon fucked her over. You know that, right?
What? What, pal? I don't fuck.
Shayna Baszler was with Triple H wanted to give her a huge push. Did you guys talk about it?
No.
Triple H wanted to give her the huge push. She was, if you remember, she came in as a monster, and Vince
absolutely,
McMahon,
she was.
Vince McMahon, in front of the other people, the writers and everything, said she's too fucking ugly to be.
She's too fucking ugly. He's right.
Well, she's a fucking wrestler.
I know, man.
No.
Seriously, dude.
She's a killer. Who cares about her looks?
I don't want to listen. I don't want to fuck Bret Hart. Like, I don't understand why Vince has this
Back
thing.
to the gay shit again.
Listen. Bret Hart wants to fuck Bret Hart. I don't want to fuck Bret Hart.
You don't want to get between those two. Those two
Yeah,
things.
no, exactly.
No.
I wouldn't want to take time away from Bret Hart fucking himself to fuck Bret Hart.
It's a dangerous place
But
to
no,
be.
listen, wrestling. I agree with Jeff on one level here, right? Like, wrestling is a looks business. You do have to have a look in order to be
But she does have a look.
She has a look.
She has
she
a
does,
look.
right.
It's
Exactly.
just she's not pretty. The same
Right.
way, I don't think fucking Brock Lesnar is attractive, but he has a really good fucking look.
Girls will fuck him, though.
I think that Shayna Baszler could have been a star, even
This
though
has a
she's
great
not
smile.
terribly good looking.
I think Brock's a very handsome man.
I think he has a great smile.
Man, I've showed these boys, but Ray, have you seen his daughter?
Don't please.
Oh my, I've seen it.
I thought you were gonna say I've shown Ray, but I don't know if you boys
Have
have
you
seen.
seen my
But
dick?
I've shown Ray's dick. I was like,
I've seen that.
Jesus
I've seen
Christ.
Jimmy's cock way too many times.
Second date pictures with Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, that's
no.
like no
Back
doubt it's his daughter. It's like him.
No doubt, bro. There's no. If you said no, I'm not the father, you're tripping. Put it that way.
I'm pretty sure that Rich Holland is his daughter.
Rich Holland's his daughter. Wouldn't that be fucking Butch? Maybe.
No, I love Butch.
I don't know
You
about
Butch
what.
alone.
I know Chris probably would understand what I say, But do you guys? Does Americans use the term butch?
Yeah, like a lesbian.
Yeah.
Like a man, like a very manly lesbian woman.
Right. Okay, so that's
It's a very derogatory term there, Jimmy.
Yes, Jimmy.
How dare you?
Well, I didn't say nothing. I just asked if you guys use the term butch.
Well, you did just now. You said it twice.
I didn't. Right,
Also,
but I never said who's
he's
the butch.
Australian. He's Australian, Ray. So like a perfectly acceptable
mean?
thing to say to your grandmother in Australia is, "You're a good cunt, Granny."
Yeah, I know.
It's true. No, really, it's true.
You old cunt.
Yeah, we do say that. Old cunt, dumb cunt, silly
I love
cunt,
you, cunt.
sick
Yeah.
cunt. Yeah, come here, you dumb cunt. Yeah. No, really. That's. I know we're weird, bro. But I don't know what to say, but I like it.
I will say this about Rhonda. This was the most natural she seemed maybe ever.
Right?
I thought
like
the same
pretty.
thing.
She doesn't give a fuck. She was like the press. Like she, I don't know if this thing about her demanding out of her contract or exercising her out clause is true or not. There's been stories that confirmed it, then denied it. But whatever it is,
She hasn't re-signed yet, Jeff. So technically,
well, I mean, I don't know when her contract ends or if she had the option out. But anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is, whatever it is, she seemed relaxed up there, and she is supposed to be the face. But the thing is that everybody sides with Shayna. Shayna's the fans' face, but Ronda's supposed. But I don't care about it. Let the fans like who they will like, whatever it is. But this is, and it was fine. Ronda said, "I got you what you finally never could do on your own." Booked at SummerSlam, and this was fine. This was all fine. And
everything was true. That what both women said about each other is pretty much true, right? One's a wannabe, and one's not. Is a shell of her former self, really. To be honest, when it comes to MMA, anyway, especially. But yeah, so I like this promo from both of them. I just don't like how we got here, just out of the blue. That's all. But still,
nobody likes that.
Right? Exactly.
It is
Chris,
funny. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
It's cool. It's just funny how that promo was designed for her to kind of get over as a baby face. You're absolutely right. If you really listen to what she's saying,
right,
because she's like, I got fucked over. She's like, I came in. But listen, what she's saying is that I fought real fights. I was an Olympic judo champ or whatever the fuck she said, and then I got thrown to the wolves. So it's supposed to be it was supposed to be a promo to garner her. Hold on, to garner her like sympathy. But
right,
I think Ronda Rousey read the room. She read the room, and then she started. I don't know if you noticed. She started with the flicking of the hair, and she's her mannerisms changed. And I think she realized, all right, this shit ain't getting over. I'm just gonna be an asshole. And then
think about it. It's like Kurt Angle when he first came to WWE, right? He would sit there and say, "How can you boo an American gold medalist?" You know what I mean? I'm a gold medalist. I won it for the country. Blah blah. He was never really saying everyone's this or that. He was just putting himself at how good he was. I'm an American hero and blah, blah, blah. And the crowd was just shitting on him all the time. It kind of reminds me of that with Ronda Rousey. She's talking like a baby face per se. But like you said, she's thick in the hair. She's got this arrogance with her look and all that shit, the way she's doing everything. So I don't know if it was just her going off the cuff. But either way, it works. You know what I mean? Because she's naturally hated anyway. And Chris, what do you think about all this anyway, man, in your opinion?
I already gave my opinion on this, and it was just a series of questions. Ray, you missed it. But like I said,
that's true, yeah.
Who's the face and who's the heel in this fucking program?
Well,
I don't know.
The fans are going to make the choice, and the choice is that Shayna Baszler is the baby face.
Okay, and why does Shayna Baszler wear a gi? She was not a karate person. She was a mixed martial artist, but she started with wrestling.
Because she's a karate person now.
Maybe because she's mocking Ronda Rousey, who always wore the gi.
Yeah, she could. Yeah. There it is. Yeah, I guess.
It's like the whistle, man, like the coach. Anyway, let's move on though, boys, because what's it called? Ronda Rousey appears in the skybox and gets on the mic. She said she's been thinking about Shayna's complaint about her slipping in the back door and ask if it's easier to go in the front and climb your way up the ladder to go in the back and get thrown to the wolves and come out a future Hall of Famer in less than a year. You can't blame privilege or circumstance on the fact that she's the greatest combat sports athlete of all time, and Shayna is just a knockoff of her. Baszler then says, Baszler says, it's easy to talk that talk up there, and she knows as well as anyone that she's a better Ronda Rousey than the real one.
I like
so
that.
waltz your happy ass. I like that too because it's kind of true.
Yeah.
So waltz your happy ass down to the ring and settle it here. And no, Rousey's not interested and puts her feet up, telling Shayna to make her as Baszler jumps the barricade, but security cuts her off and Ronda offers her a favor. She's finally going to get her booked at SummerSlam, and that's the end of that. I'm not even going to ask you because we've already spoken about it. I just thought I'd give a recap.
Mm-hmm.
But, boys, I do want to ask you one more thing, though, before we move on. Is SummerSlam giving you that great balls of fire vibes all over again? Because I'm sort of feeling that with Born to Be Wild.
No.
Jeff,
No.
are you Born to Be Wild? This feels like Vince came up with this song.
No, no.
SummerSlam's
interesting.
the fucking WrestleMania of the summer, dude.
No. Hold on. I'm talking about with the song. I'm not talking about the
song?
event. Yes, because the Great Balls of Fire. I remember that event, which was
Yes,
a good
Great
event,
Balls
mind
of
you.
Fire is like
it was great.
Yeah, but Great Balls of Fire, the song, is like a joke at this point. Born to Be Wild is still a pretty fucking awesome song.
Yeah, I will play that on a road trip.
Steppenwolf is pretty fucking fantastic in general.
But it's a song.
Not as good
I don't know
as
about you guys.
Fortune. Fortune's still more over. But you know,
Oh boy.
Did you know?
Anyway.
Chris, did you know what this meant when I did this?
Yeah, I knew what you were doing.
You're the fucking man, bro.
Fortune.
I'm a podcast.
I like
I'm a
Fortune,
favorite podcast.
and I was watching it. I was watching it then, but come on, man! Like I'm gonna think of that
assumed
shit.
it was MS-13.
Mucha Salvatura.
No, see, Jimmy saw this and immediately thought of
Yeah.
the Shocker. That's all he was thinking.
Yeah, the Shocker.
Excuse me. No. Here we do this.
No,
Like
brother.
this.
It's one.
No, it's one in the pink and two in the pink and one in the
One in the
stink. Yeah.
right?
What the hell are you fucking sticking, huh?
You put the pinky in the asshole. And you just put the two fingers in the twat, bro.
Come on, man.
Brother, you don't know what you're missing.
Hey, draw a
KD.
picture. Draw a
Don't you
picture.
know what a fucking ricochet spike is?
He does better with visuals. Draw a picture. A little
Jimmy,
diagram.
your wife's not listening, is she?
No, she's sleeping actually.
Oh, thank God.
I
I actually like and respect her.
Yeah,
Let's
she's
talk about it.
awesome,
Trust me.
right?
She is awesome.
She's awesome, but trust me. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, let's move. Thank God she's sleeping. Well, we come back from commercial and guess who's in the ring? It is the fucking Miz to host Miz TV. But first, he crows for a moment about how he beat the Muscle Ciampa, and he's the biggest star in WWE. And I was glad he beat Ciampa just quietly. Then we see the man, or is it? I don't know what the hell this is, but it's Becky Lynch making an
Pajama
entrance.
time.
Yeah, but whatever the fuck it. She confuses me, man. She's very lost at the moment. But anyway, I'll get to that.
I'm not a
She stinks hard.
I've never been a Becky Lynch fan, guys. I'm sorry. Sorry, baby.
Right now, she's stinking it, man. She doesn't know if she's David Bowie, if she's the man. Is she a man?
Is she Wendy Chu?
Tonight, she was Wendy Chu.
Oh, Wendy Chu. Poor girl.
I mean, Chris,
Shit gimmick.
what do we do with Becky Lynch, bro?
Bro, I don't even know. Like, and she tried to fire up here, like on the Miz, and I know they were going for like pissed off former legend and everything, right? But like, I don't know, man. I don't know about you guys, but like, if they brought back,
It's a war song,
if they brought
just
back
quietly.
if they brought back like an old school wrestler right now, let's say they brought back Stone Cold Steve Austin, and somebody was making fun of him and saying like, "Oh, you don't have it anymore, Steve," and then he fired up real good, like. I'd be all for it unless he was wearing pajamas while he was fucking firing up. Like, what is this fucking character? Because right now, guys, I love stories. I love wrestling. I read books constantly. I write. I have no idea what this fucking character is meant to be. None. I don't get it. I don't fucking get it.
Her and her husband both.
She's the man.
Seth is we already know what Seth is, though. He's
An
consistent like this. Whatever. But Becky, one week she's back as the man. The next week she's David Bowie again. Now she's Wendy Becky. I mean...
Listen, there's only one thing they need to do, and they need to go shopping for high quality temporary tattoos that say "Thank you, Trish," because she needs to lose this match. Go away, go with your kids.
Oh,
whatever.
maybe they could get the Cody Rhodes tattoos in their neck.
That is still some of the best shit ever. That we were saying before. That was golden. Look, I'm confused too. I don't know what you do with her, but right now I feel like you can see the frustration coming out of her. You just can. And I don't think she actually knows, and neither does the company know.
I can't see her frustration past my own.
Yeah,
Shit,
really. Yeah.
That's
However
strong.
frustrated she is, I'm way more frustrated having to watch her.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to hear what Zoe Starks has to say.
Yo, I legit really thought I was gonna be the only dude here that didn't like Becky Lynch.
No.
Like Vet always gets
if you
on my
want
shit.
negativity, you're in the right
Yeah,
place.
Vet loves her,
Welcome
man.
home.
Vet loves her. It's
Vet
true,
loves
Ray,
her.
man. He tries to convince me every time why I'm wrong about that, but
She's terrible.
I just...
She's
it's
not
not that
great.
she's terrible.
She's not great.
She was, though. She was great.
She was
until
good.
was a
She
kid.
wasn't. No,
She had a
she
couple
wasn't.
of years.
She was good. She wasn't great.
She's good, but she was never great. She
You know who's
she got really lucky that she got her nose broken at just the right time.
That's what
It-
made
what
her,
happened.
man. That's literally what got her over. Let's be honest, right?
like not for nothing. Like I don't know if you guys are fans of Charlotte. But like Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch.
She
I think
cheats me now, bro.
I know, but Charlotte Flair, like I think is way up here. That's just me. Like
She
compared
is.
to
The
Becky
Yeah.
Lynch.
stories
Right
with
now.
Charlotte are so lazy. But aside from that, Charlotte Flair is I mean, her and Asuka are the two best female wrestlers.
Oscar, my God,
Asuka
Oscar's
is
like
the best female wrestler. In the
she's
world.
so fucking good, man. Oscar,
Yeah, she's on another level, man.
I like that other
Nobody,
girl. What's that? Kyrie
Io Sky.
Io Sky.
I think she's in the top
pretty good,
3
too.
right now, too.
She's really, really good too. Like those girls are good, man. But Becky Lynch, she's never.
Well,
I
and
don't know.
Julia Hart, of course. If we're having a conversation.
Stop. Would you stop?
Oh,
Do I have this here? Where is
Okay,
it?
play it now. Would you stop it?
I don't fucking have it here set up.
Oh,
I'm
damn
sorry,
it.
it's my fault. Oh wait, hold on. Here it is. Here it is.
Will you stop?
There you go.
You need to get the one. Will you be serious? You know when he says that too.
Yes, I'll get that one later.
Anyway,
Let's move on.
Yes.
all
Yes.
right,
Why are
Jeff.
you
Settle
gay?
down, Jeff. Settle down.
Why are you-
Anyway.
We've been doing this for 2 hours and 15 minutes. It's like 2 a.m.
I know. Stop bitching for crying out loud. You think?
Hey, it's only 1:30 on my clock.
God damn it, pal. Anyway, we have Trish and Zoe Stark then making their way to the ring. Trish says Becky is acting like a toddler. She ain't wrong. And asks why she's so obsessed with her and says she's not going to fight her because she already fought her and won. In fact, she's done with her and she just wants to use this platform to give Becky one last chance to thank her. As Lynch says, she brought Trish back and shouldn't act like she owes her anything because she spent more time in this company than Stratus has. And if she wants to talk about being the best, then fight her one-on-one and prove she's as good as she says she is. Trish then accepts the challenge, but she has a few conditions. First of all, she needs to go through Zoe first, since she hasn't beaten her yet. Second, she needs her to get on her knees and say thank you, Trish. And one more thing, as a reminder to everyone here, she needs Lynch to tattoo thank you, Trish across her chest. Lynch then agrees to all the terms, and Heels jumps her, and she gets overwhelmed by their numbers. At first, she turns the tide, knocks Trish's protective mask off, and sends her out of the ring before putting the mask on and headbutting Zoe with it. And this was silly. Like, the end of it was silly anyway. I didn't mind Trish and what she said, but this was just silly. And if anyone else wants to chime in any more about this, you can. If not, I shall just move on. Because, other than another recap of Cody, but we won't go there, we see Bronson Reed versus Shinsuke Nakamura. And Bronson Reed ends up winning via disqualification thanks to that dopey, baldy Ciampa for getting involved and causing the loss for Nakamura. And then Nakamura basically turns on Ciampa at the end. And that's that. I'm only disappointed that we didn't see the tsunami.
Bronson Reed got zero response coming in.
Zero.
Nothing.
Not one fucking person. You heard one guy. Yay! And that's about it.
And we had a hot Atlanta crowd too.
Like, who's that guy?
That sounded great.
Yeah, so there's only
Sound
one
fun.
thing to do. Solo ain't cutting it. Solo, make him Solo's backup, and let's just pretend this whole thing are on ever.
Why? Because he's Samoan?
Yes.
Yes.
Because he's Samoan.
Jesus.
That's exactly why.
Fuck, do it. Yeah.
That'd be
Go
interesting
back
and
to
different.
New Zealand.
He's actually from Australia, though.
I know. That's the joke.
Yeah, well,
That's the joke. Dude.
okay. Well, yeah, but he was born here. But anyway,
Like, Ray, go
he's
back
a sheep
to
fucker
Jersey.
too. He's a sheep. Anyway, Chris, since you're talking, anything to say about this particular thing?
No, fuck this. No, this match was whatever, and I don't know. Listen, I actually really love Ciampa, but him as a face is really weird. I mean, it does not come across. He's a good heel if they let him heal up and like really like go full like Sicilian psychopath. He was fun,
Right,
even
that's
as an
his-
undersized
that's his real
guy.
gimmick.
I think he
Right.
could actually pull it off in like an intercontinental champion type like role, like in the mid card. I don't think he could do top of the card in the actual main roster, but mid card.
He's a good hand.
Psycho. He's great.
Yeah,
but
if he was 6'2" and above, he would be a huge star, I think.
yeah. I agree with you. It's like Ilya Dragunov. I think Ilya Dragunov, if he was about 3 inches taller, would be like blue
He's got a
chip
lot of
prospect.
charisma, though.
That
He's
guy
got a
would
big-
be future world champion. But
But he's got
too
such
small.
a big personality, though. Yeah, he's small, but he does have a big personality, which is believable. It's like AJ Styles, even though he's small.
I was thinking about
it's
the
still
same
believable.
guy.
Right. I
You
mean,
said
because that's a
that.
good comparison, right?
Bad
'Cause it's
comparison.
believable.
Here's why it's a
Why?
bad comparison. Ilya injures himself every 5 or 6 matches because.
Oh,
he
well, I'm not
works
talking
that
about it
style.
from that aspect. No. I didn't mean it like that. I mean, as in, Styles not a big guy, but you believe that he can beat anybody, though.
Sure, because of
You
his
know what I'm
monster
saying?
haircut.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
whatever
it's
it
like,
is.
It's like the great Adam. Forget it.
Oh, no, yeah. No.
guy
No.
sucks.
Come on, baby.
Don't- Yeah, no.
Yeah, he's not believable at all. But
The Haiti
Styles
kid.
is believable.
The Haiti kid.
The Haiti kid.
Mhm.
There we
That
go,
guy
way
was
back.
over. He was over.
What about the Tonga kid?
Lord Littlefoot. What?
The Tonga kid.
He
Remember
was
him?
awesome too. Fuck him. Fuck him all.
But anyway, look, Ciampa's Ciampa. I mean, Jeff, anything to say about him?
No, what's to say?
Ray?
They don't know what to do with him, and apparently they don't want him to go over Bronson Reed. Apparently they don't want him to go over The Miz. So Nakamura is the jobber to everybody. So there you go.
Come on. Well, Ciampa's on his last legs, according to
What
Medium
was
Fight.
Nakamura's outfit? This I want to talk about. So he was doing like a figure skater homage to the Black Lightning. Is that
Why
what
not?
that was going on there?
Sure.
What's the Black Lightning?
Well, they did the Nancy Kerrigan, thing with the women where she took out her knee. So I'm
Right.
pretty sure that's what the suit was for. He was doing like the figure skating. outfit.
Black Lightning was a superhero in the CW DC universe, played by the actor who Brandon Walsh tutored him when he was on the Beverly Hills basketball team.
Why not?
He was also
Okay,
in Fallen as one of the detectives.
Well, I'm about to fall in a minute, but
me too.
anyway, yeah, no. Anyway, whatever. This is weird. Still, I guess we're gonna have some sort of interaction.
Nakamura's a
between
bad
them.
guy now, right?
Apparently.
Seemed like it.
Even though he's totally justified of being upset.
Right.
guy-
That's why they might not just turn him yet. It could have
I
been a
think they-
one-off for you know.
I think he's a bad guy now.
Yeah.
Oh well, if he's a bad guy, I like that. But what difference is it gonna make? Because he won't be saying shit, so he'll still be the same. I mean, really, I love Nakamura, but what's gonna change?
Hopefully his
Subtitle
clothes.
when he talks.
He's gonna be saying, "Come on!" even louder now.
Is he gonna wear the crown? Oh, he had a crown already.
Oh, that was cool, bro. That when he was the king.
It
Yes,
wasn't.
it fucking
It
was.
wa-
In Japan,
it wasn't.
the
It
king of strong style, that Nakamura was a
That was-
machine.
I
Machine.
do not know what you're talking about when he had the crown. No.
Wrestle Kingdom 10 around
He
there.
came out with all these bitches, man, like a pimp with the crown and
was
the
kinda
robe.
awesome.
Do you know how cool that looked? Oh, fuck you, Jeff. You never saw it. I'm telling you, it was cool, man. He had all these hot chicks. He was a heel too.
Listen, I don't
at
like
the time.
I don't like Chinese karate wrestling from Korea.
Oh,
Either, but when I saw that shit, I was like, wow.
All I know is New York is in
And that
New
match,
York, New
too, was
Jersey is
great.
in New Jersey, New Orleans is here, but New Japan is somehow still in Japan. What the fuck is that about?
God, well, I'm just making
New
reference-
Zealand's
is
not
it-
in Old Zealand. How is New Japan still in Japan?
Yeah, Jimmy. So the main event, right?
Anyway.
That's what happens next.
Yes, we're here. We're finally here. It is the Judgmental Day with Jeff Lippman. No, I'm joking. Judgment
That's
Day
my
in
next podcast.
Judgment Day. Right,
The
Damien
Judgmental
Priest.
Day with Jeff Lippman. it can come out right after the Far Center.
Hey, that's a nice one. That's a nice 1-2 right there. But anyway, it's Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for your WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championships. I'm not going to go full into this, but it was a fun match. I mean, I think all 4 of these guys, heck, all 5 of them that were out there, have all got great chemistry. There was a lot of back and forth. For a moment, you thought Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn might lose those championships. And I'll be honest, I was hoping Priest and Mysterio won. I knew they weren't. But deep down, I wish they did win. But nevertheless, Owens and Zayn win by pinfall with a hell of a kick a haluva kick from Zayn on Dominic Mysterio, retaining the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championships. Chris, did you think it was a fun match?
I did, yeah. I thought the match was pretty good. This was the second best match for me on the night. I liked it. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are a couple more of these guys who, like Gunther, I very rarely see a match where I walk away and I just go, yeah, that was shit. I didn't like it. Both of those guys, they really did like grow up, like they grew up wrestling, and they wrestle
literally
a lot, and they have wrestled a lot. And like, these are guys who have honed their craft for decades at this point.
Together,
and they're not
too,
that
man.
old. Yeah, together, which makes them a really, really good tag team too, because they know where they're going to be. Like, they understand,
and they work that way too, man. They're perfect together. The way they're synchronized all the time.
And I did see that at the end of last week's Raw, there was apparently like a bit of a shoving match or whatever, because the Judgment Day and Sammy and Kevin had some miscommunication or whatever during the main event, and some people were kind of pissed off. My guess is that was mostly Sammy being annoyed and not being able to shut the fuck up, because Sammy is generally not able to shut the fuck up backstage, and probably was like, oh, you were in the wrong fucking position and you should have been over here, blah, 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 because Sammy...
Yeah, I heard a lot of rumblings about that all 4 of them were getting in the shouting match.
Right. But there was a situation tonight too where fucking like, and listen, I know why they do it on commentary, but when I hear on commentary, oh, I don't think he got all of them. He didn't get all of them with that kick. He didn't even get some of them. He didn't get close to him. He was 2 feet away. Sami Zayn should not be fucking selling that. Yeah. If I'm up on the fucking corner and the guy who I'm supposed to be having a fight with misses me by 2 feet,
you don't sell it.
I'm calling an audible. I'm going, all right, I'm going to hit you with something.
But everyone continues to sell it, dude. Even the veterans. Like, there's a lot of that shit happening lately, and it blows my mind. Like, is it because out of natural reaction, or they just glitch and think, what do I do?
It works anymore, Jimmy. This is something that Vet was talking about the last time I was on a podcast with him. Nobody actually works a match anymore.
He did say that.
They discuss everything backstage. They know exactly what they're doing, when they're doing it. They've got it all laid out. Everything is laid out and pre-planned, and they just go out and they do exactly how they figured out to do it in the back. So if somebody fucks up, you just keep going like they didn't fuck up, because otherwise it's going to fuck up the rest of the match. Nobody knows how to actually work a wrestling match anymore. Back in the day, if you went for an enziguri and missed, your opponent would immediately jump on you with a headlock. Right? Because they knew, right? You knew that you missed. Your opponent knew that you missed. And you both knew that the crowd knew that you missed, so you worked it into the match, right? Because people used to work. They're not working anymore. They're just doing, what's the next spot? What's the next spot? What's the next spot? Oh, I need to be here in 30 seconds. In order to be there in 30 seconds, I have to pretend like you kicked me, even though I know and you know and the crowd knows you didn't kick me.
I know, it's weird, dude. It's bizarre. I mean, Jeff... do you agree? Do you think all this shit is bizarre, especially when they just glitch out like that and just decide to sell when they shouldn't?
Yeah, but if we're talking about this particular match, I don't think that happened in this match tonight. I think you were talking about maybe last week, or what you suspect happened last week. I don't remember what happened last week, but I thought that the match tonight was fine. I thought it was a good match, and then
the missing kick was tonight.
Yeah, I think it was pretty well coordinated at the end there, where KO hit the stunner on Priest, and Sammy timed his Haluma kick run from turnbuckle to turnbuckle diagonally perfectly on time. I mean, I don't know. There were a lot of bodies moving. There was the segment with Liv attacking Rhea, which was a little bit silly, but I guess Rhea will destroy Liv next week, and that'll get Raquel all gimpy and limpy and coming out, and then Rhea will leave her lane also, which will set up for SummerSlam eventually. But this was fun. It was a good end to a show that had some good spots, but it's really, really long, and we talked about it at the front of the show. What's really long about it? And I'm a broken record. I say the same thing every week, but it's true. This is the problem with Raw. It's just too homogenized. It's too much advertisement packing into that show for like a million different things, and including like 2 spots for the city itself. I mean, what the hell do they need to be advertising the Braves and the Falcons and the Hawks for? I mean, people know what fucking sport teams are in the city.
They're putting the city over. That's what it is, really.
But they do it in every city. It's like
right.
It's like
true.
It's
maybe
like,
it's part of the deal, man. For
it's like we're wrestling. We're wrestling fans. We choose wrestling over real sports. We don't care about real sports. Like 10% of us, maybe.
Well, I do. I'm sure Chris does. I know you do. And so does Ray, for fuck's sake. Jesus.
Yeah, well, he's maybe in the 10%, but most wrestling fans do not. It's like there's a 10% difference.
Well, most wrestling fans now, I'm gonna kind of agree with you. I think wrestling fans growing up, like my father, my grandfather, I literally would throw his shoe at the TV because he thought the heels were fucking cheating. That was a different, breed
awesome.
of. Yeah, my grandfather literally would do that.
My grandfather's what got me into wrestling too. Like, it was passed on from my grandfather to my dad to me. You know what I mean? But it was my grandfather that originally was into it in the first place. So yeah, I can totally relate, man. But anyway, Ray, what'd you think of this main event, bro?
It was fun. It was a good, solid main event. Again, it's for me. It takes the joy is taken out of my heart when I know that there's no chance that there will be a title change. I knew it.
Right. Of course.
And like I said, I thought back to the women's title match. I was like, all right, they changed the titles there. They want us to think, blah, 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 blah.
They're not going to give us everything for free.
Yeah, so that's definitely not going to happen. And then also, you have Dominic, who's going to be going for a North American title. So I think they're going to put that on him. So I'm thinking all logically. But for what it was, I think the fans were invested. The fans were having fun watching the match. I couldn't take my eyes off of Kevin Owens. I'm like, God, this guy's really worked into some decent shape. For Kevin Owens, he looked great.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn. It was a for the fact that I watched this shit for 3 goddamn hours. And
sorry, Ray, bro. Sorry, man.
Technically, it's 6 matches. It was really only 5 because one only lasts like a minute and a half. This was a fun match and a fun way to go off the air. So I'll give them that. So
yeah, look, it's a drag, man. It is what it is. You know what I mean?
It wasn't. Listen, this wasn't horrible. Like, I watched this Raw.
By all means.
I watched this Raw, guys. Again, I haven't watched it. I watched the entire show. Like, I didn't miss a minute, dude. And you know what, man?
Shit.
I was like, I thought I was gonna see more wrestling matches. That's it.
WWE have gone into a weird, different direction
Ray,
now when it
you
comes
thought
to
you were
going
to see wrestling on this wrestling show?
That's what I thought. AEW, they got
entertainment, damn it.
AEW, they got like 12 matches every week, don't they? Each show,
at least.
I think there were only 3 on Collision, but one of them
but that's
was
because
an
the
hour
first
long.
match, exactly. Right.
They had 4.
Exactly.
They had the
no 3.
Oh, the House of Black. No, you're right. Yeah.
1, 2. Oh yeah, you're right. Fuck 4. I always thought it was 3 as well for some reason.
4 in an hour, huh?
One match was 1 hour and 5 minutes. That was quick against jobbers, but anyway. Well, anyway, fellas, since we're at the end, if I'll start with you, Chris. If you had to grade it between A and F, what would you give it, man?
God, again, if this would have been a 2-hour show and they would have just packed all of the good stuff into 2 hours and cut all the filler and everything out, I could have easily given this show a B or a B plus because the good stuff was pretty good. Like, there was some good stuff on here.
There's a lot of shit though in this show. But,
yeah, I really liked the Gunther match. I really liked the main event. I was shockingly okay with the women's tag match. I thought that was decent. but as is, with all the filler and the bullshit and the 3 fucking hours and the recap and recap and recap, how many fucking times did I see Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes recapped tonight? How many times did I see whatever the fuck is happening on Tuesday night, recapped again tonight? Like, I just, at a certain point, just stop insulting me as a fucking fan. I just watched it. Don't show it to me again.
They got to fill 3 hours somehow, dude. So
well, but that's it. You've got a 3-hour show. You could fill it with more interesting things. It doesn't have to be boring. Like
right. I agree.
I don't know. Anyway, so all told, like put it all together, it gets like a D from me, and that's just me saying there was some good stuff on here. I can't give it an F. But after 3 fucking hours of watching Raw, I want to give every Raw an F because it's 3 fucking hours.
Well, before I give my rating, Jeff, what's yours?
I agree with pretty much everything Chris said, except I'm used to watching the 3-hour Raw, so it doesn't put me into the D range. I'm gonna give it a C minus. I just can't get past, like, here in, this is Maryland, this is crab cake country, and a bad crab cake is like 70% filler as opposed to, it's supposed to be like 70% crab, and
that's everywhere, dude, even here.
And this was 70% filler, and I ranted about it, Chris ranted about that. There's no reason to rant again, but I'm going to go C minus. But like Chris, if this was a 2-hour show, I could have seen myself to a B, a solid B. I don't know about a B plus, but a solid B.
Well,
but it wasn't.
Grande Ray, what's your opinion on this, and what would be your score, shall I say?
Jeff, I think you wanted to say one more thing.
Nah, I probably would just say the same thing again.
Okay.
That's my thing.
You said it.
I'm going to agree with Jeff. I was going to give it about a D, maybe a D plus. Dick? No, not D for dick. Not even that good. Give it a solid D, guys. It was passable. Too long. Now, if I thought about this during all these recaps of the same shit over and over again. And recaps what happened on SmackDown, all this dumb shit. You have a show the very next day on Tuesday where not a ton of people are watching. How about Raw? You use some of that time to maybe recap or maybe put over what's going to happen on NXT? Just a thought. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, they did promote it quite a bit,
but they promoted one part of
one
NXT.
Match.
Yeah.
Show me.
Well, yeah.
Show me. Listen, you've got 3 different fucking recaps of the same fucking thing. Have one recap of that, and then have something where you show me what's going on with Braun Breaker right now, and show me what's going on with whatever the fucking women's tag team is in NXT. Then you've got 3 separate videos that's not repetitive, and you're helping build interest in the fucking show.
How about instead of a recap, how about having a couple of the young talents cutting pre-recorded promos?
Yep.
To promote NXT, like legit promos, or have a segment. Tomorrow we have NXT, so right now we have who is it? Wesley defending his North American title, right? But Wesley's cutting a promo, gets attacked by who? Who knows? Tune in tomorrow for NXT on USA Network. Maybe, but listen, man. Again, it's legit been. I say 2 years. It may be longer. It may almost be 3 years since I watched the entire Monday Night Raw for 3 hours, and I did it.
Wow.
I did it for The Rock. No, I did it just to hang out and make sure that I knew what I was doing on the show, and I thought it was okay. It was all right. It wasn't terrible, and my wife was hanging out with me, so I'll take it, and I get to hang out with you guys. So
you took it from your wife,
Jimmy.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
How's
You
that
are
gay? Fuck.
How am I going to take it from my wife?
Yeah, what do you mean? How is it gay? You
Yeah,
don't take anything from your wife. No, you don't. But
Oh my God.
you give. That's the
Right.
the way that works physically.
Yeah, like if my wife ever came up to me, I would have ran up to him and be like this.
You're not going to fit in that hole.
No, yeah.
Oh Jesus.
No, you're not getting access to it.
No.
We're not playing with that. You don't get
No.
to touch me there because
No.
nobody gets to touch me there.
Why is it that women?
He's not going to understand the concept. Just
Can I ask you guys something as guys as we close out? am I the only dude that's been with many women that for some reason they want to go there?
No,
Like, it's like,
no.
I'm not saying no. Right, I'm not the only guy, right?
No,
not many, but a few, and it was weird.
What is their deal, dude?
I don't know.
It's no.
It's no, and it's even no on my end. Like, I don't even want to touch you there. Never mind you touching me there. No,
I don't want to touch me there. It's like it's maintenance.
Yeah.
What the hell did I just stir up right here, man? God damn it, pal.
I'm sorry. All right, Jimmy. So
you guys sound like the cream team right now.
Yeah, really sorry. We've really sorry that we've taken it too far on you, Jimmy. Yeah. Really sorry.
Stop it. I'm a giver, not a taker, please.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Beware of Greeks bearing gifts.
Right, because it doesn't happen.
Anyway, let's just move on, shall we? Chris, tell them where they can find you, bro.
You can find me right here on the PWC, which is, by the way, the #1 podcast in the country of Kenya for professional wrestling. Thanks again, guys. Really happy about that. Also, yeah, you can find me on the PWC. Mostly, you can find me on the Skirmish. That's sort of the big thing that I am sort of in charge of here on the PWC. But also, you can find me as a guest on lots of other shows. You can find me on. I've got my latest episode of The Far Center is up and running. Please go listen to it. It's awesome because I'm awesome. I am on a number of podcasts on Hami Media Group and channelattitude.com, including but especially on The Wreckage, which is the show that we do after the collision. Say it with me. After the collision, we sift through
the wreckage.
The Wreckage. We do that. We generally do that show Sunday morning. So that we can review everything that happened on Collision. It is awesome. We have a lot of fun over there. And you can find me on Twitter at Chris Ambvs1. You can hear all of my comments and thoughts about politics, pro wrestling, and whatever the hell else I happen to be thinking about that day. So go ahead and give me a follow.
Oh, beautiful. Jeff, tell them where they can find you, man.
Pretty much what Chris said, except on Twitter, I'm at IcarusFellMD, and my non-wrestling podcast, I Garden of Doom and Garden Views, which you can find right here on the PWC and on the Hami Media Group. And then I have one other wrestling podcast I do also on the PWC with Big Daddy Cool Esteban Pineapple called Hammerlock Hangover, and occasionally you can find me other places as well. But if you're still listening now, you're probably sick of me. I'm sick of me, so it's probably better to think about it tomorrow.
And we still got listeners on, and just quietly before I give it to you, Ray, thank you to everyone that's still with us, man, on a Tuesday morning, I assume now for you guys, right?
Yes.
Correct? Yes. Well, man, the fact that there's still people in here
I have work in the morning.
Oh, shit. Sorry, Chris. Hey, you put yourself in this, all right? But, yeah, no.
I know.
But thank you to everyone that stuck with us, man. We always appreciate it. And the fact that you guys are still up is a good thing, because that means we're not putting you to sleep. But in saying that, Ray, tell them where they can find you, brother.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can find me on all social media, as I have right here above, at Big Ray Hernandez. You'll find me every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the Next Level Wrestling Review with me and the vet. And you can find us on anywhere on Hami Media Group and channelattitude.com. Also on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Search The A Show with April Hunter. And we'll talk a whole bunch of cool stuff, man. Conspiracy theories, UFOs. We'll talk about big titties and stuff. And April will shake her titties. It's it's amazing. Never a bad moment on the A Show. I love to put over my favorite podcast that nobody listens to. I'm kidding. We have the Magnificent Seven or the Fantastic 12, whatever the hell they call it, the Professor and Tommy Wonder in the Pro Wrestling Reflection podcast. Actually, a lot of people are listening now. And
I love the Reflection, bro.
It's a great podcast, guys.
Absolutely.
If you guys love old school wrestling, I put it up for free on Hami Media Group's podcast platform, so you can find it on iTunes, on Podbean, anywhere. This week, it's going to be Pro Wrestling Reflection is going to be talking some. There it is. This week, they're going to be talking rivalries. There you go. Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect. So going to be breaking down that rivalry. It's going to be really freaking cool. So check us out. Join us. In the words of Ben Hameen, Yalla.
Yalla indeed. And you can also check out the A Show and the Reflection and the Spotlight right here on the PWC Network. But if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can at DJ Mass Effects, and you can also follow us at the PWC Network. Also, like and subscribe right here at the pwcnetwork.podbean.com, where you can find all our shows. And also, like and subscribe at channelattitude.com, where for $5 you get the best talk in all of pro wrestling. And HaminMediaGroup.podbean.com for all our affiliate shows. We include Jeff's and our very own John Enright. And like I said, man, just subscribe to all those channels because you won't regret it. So in saying that, I just want to say thank you for being here, Ray. It's always an absolute pleasure when you're on, dude. I always have the best laughs. I'm always laughing. And used to, Jesus, I'm sure we all frustrate each other, but it's always a fucking pleasure having you guys on with me. As per usual.
I love you fucking guys.
Oh, of course, I love you all too, man. Get to be gay sometimes. I'm looking at you, Ray, but anyway, not as gay as Colin Weiss song.
Yes,
though, I just want to say. Yes, boy, indeed. So in saying that, I am Jimmy T. That is Chris Ambvs. That is the evil doctor, Dr. Jeff Lippman. And that is the pundit of the people, Big Ray Hernandez. And you've been listening and watching the PWC Monday Night Machismo right here on the PWC Network. And we're out. Thank you.
Olé.
Stay evil, my friends.
The PWC Network. What the world is watching and listening to.